Hey, Bad Brat. Just waiting on Larry. Anybody wants to come in? Just waiting on Larry. I think Solar and Woody were going to come over. Wanted to talk about some stuff. So here I am. Hey, thank you guys for coming. Waiting for you guys in my channel. Come on over for a panel. I begged and begged for a panel, and then they won't come over. It's hilarious. Thank you, Evil Strawberry. Thank you. Thank you, Bat Brat Blue. Yeah, I just got off the treadmill to clean up a little bit. Ooh, about 192 now. We're getting down there. Larry doesn't see it. Oh, wow. Larry can't find it. Holy God. I'm the only Todd Malakote on YouTube. My name's in his chat. I can't link it because I'm not a mod. And frankly, I don't want to be a mod. So unbelievable. None of those guys are over here. I tried to join, Todd. Wow. Check my link here. Yeah, that's right. Wow. I tried to join. How did you try to join and couldn't find it? Thank you, Comfort Doll. My channel. Oh. There's Solar. There's Woody. There's Solar and Woody. Hey, Solar and Woody.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Todd. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Larry can't.
Hey, you lost a lot of weight, man. How you doing?
Thanks.
It's been forever. Killing me.
It's been a minute.
So, I have got to know about Corky's girlfriend, Sabella. That name
Okay.
has a tremendous amount of resonance in a community that I belong to.
What's going on? I'm still out of the loop on some stuff.
She's well, they've been living in Jacksonville, Florida. I think she's from Texas.
Okay. I thought he drug her out of Kansas City. I thought he drug her out of Kansas City to be a girlfriend in Nebraska.
No, well, he lives in Nebraska. She was in Jacksonville and took a bus up to him.
The Sabellas in Kansas City are highly connected.
Huh. No, her first name's Sabella. Her last name was Shepard.
And
now Summers. Yeah. First name.
Generally speaking, if you see the last name Sabella, they're the ones featured on the movie Las Vegas. That's a name that you generally don't run with.
No, that's her first name. I think it's short for Isabella.
Well, you know what? I'm glad for him. I'm glad for him. I'm glad that he is happy. I'm glad that he is. He's found a partner. I mean, I think everyone deserves happiness, and if this is his road to be happy, and it's legal and it's consenting, God bless him.
God bless him.
Gonna have to go out and come back in.
Dan, you're fine. I hear you fine.
Dan, you're fine.
Maybe you couldn't hear us. I don't know. Maybe that's what he meant.
So,
my God, Larry.
I want to say, Todd, you've lost a lot of weight, brother. You've lost a lot of weight. You're looking good.
I've lost 43 pounds since the initial doctor visit and
awesome
blood tests and all that. I was 235. I'm at 192 today.
Wow, 192.
192. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I was at one time 350, roughly.
Yeah. My goodness.
And I quit drinking and I lost a lot of weight because of it. And then COVID almost killed me.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring this. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you can say the word COVID. It's fine. Okay. You can say the word. You just can't start talking about how vaccines are.
I'm not going to do any of that. I did the normal. I went through the routine and I had my doctor appointment that was state supervised, for my not get sick medicine. And shortly thereafter, I got the worst case of that particular illness I've ever experienced. I mean, I was absolutely dead, and I still have no smell.
Wow!
And it's been over a year now, and now they're linking that, according to Indian doctors, if I read the research correctly, they're linking long-term smell and equilibrium illness-related traits, long-term sufferers, to frontal lobe damage.
Wow!
And so it's actually having an impact on people's cognitive ability and making them very irrational, which leads me to believe that in this state of in this era that we live in, where everyone is so hypersensitive, maybe there's some fuel behind it at a molecular level or genetic level, maybe.
And Solar's back. Hey, Solar, can you hear us now? Test. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
That's weird.
Solar?
I can't hear you guys.
Solar, you gotta be able to hear us.
What on earth is going on?
I don't know. Check those settings.
I think this is the first time, Todd, you and I have ever spoken.
I can hear you on the YouTube version.
Sounds like very weird. Very weird. Yeah, Woody, I think it's the first time we've interacted, I think, on a panel.
Yeah, I did reply to an email. I did reply to an email you sent me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can help.
I can't tell who's talking.
Solar was saying something.
Okay. I did reply to your email you sent me, much late, on an unused account. So thank you for reaching out. And I want to say thank you for being in academia, and thank you for doing a job that's underappreciated and definitely underpaid.
Poor Solar. Yeah, I mean, it's been a hot minute. I haven't been a professor for 7-8 years, something like that, but I enjoyed the time I did. It wasn't. It was more of a performer. Really wasn't my thing. I agreed to help out in the jazz program and got a niche there. But
wow. Well, I have some good friends of mine that both work in the band department, and one of my very close friends I got my master's with. I'll never forget his supporting argument towards academia and the amount of extracurricular activities. He made a very strong argument towards those that are engaged in art and music. I'm talking about the arts as in all of them. But there's a direct correlation between being in those particular clubs and environment and academia. Overwhelmingly and successfully over the course of time, it pays out that they are the leaders of the world. It's not the guy that was the stud football player. It's the guy that was really great at fucking playing the trumpet. Who had a couple of girlfriends. He could play the guitar. He smoked some weed. That's the son of a bitch that's running the country now.
That's the guy you want. Yeah.
That's the guy you want, right?
Nice. So,
they're kind of parallels. I stepped away from the classroom years ago. I got to where, in coaching too, I got to where I just couldn't deal with the parents. Yeah. And even at the college level, I started to get, I got a text. I could barely read it. It was an illiterate text from a parent of a college student. And I literally put back, "You are a fucking moron for reaching out to me. Fuck you." And that's it. Yeah. And she of course reported it, and I had to answer to the dean, and the dean said, "You know what, man, you just got to suck it up and go with the punches." Yeah. And I said, "You know what? I've got a bunch of degrees. I don't need this shit anymore."
Hey, Blue's here. Solar's still mumbling. Solar, can you hear us? No, he's gone. Never mind. Hey, Blue.
Blue.
Hello to all. I'll be there.
Hello.
Give me 5, please.
Sure, take your time. Take your time.
I can hear you.
You can hear us now?
A man with a banjo's always got a place in my
I
home.
can definitely hear you, but I can't.
We can hear you talking.
Yeah,
Solar, you with us?
through the YouTube I can, but through StreamYard, it's popping up that my microphone has to be set on something. I don't know. I messed something up in these settings somehow.
What are you smoking?
Since I
It's
haven't
not that
been on in a
difficult. I can
long
figure it
time.
out. I'm an old man.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's been a while.
Well,
I can
anyway,
hear
Woody,
Solar.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. But,
Yeah, you
Woody,
sound fine.
I don't know.
Woody,
man.
throughout my college career, everybody's like, why don't you become a band director? You'd be a great band director. You play everything, you conduct, you do all this
Zoom
stuff. And I was
meeting,
like, I couldn't deal with high school kids. I'd wind up killing a kid and
Right.
they throw me in jail. And I wanted to do college because I figured at least they're paying to be there. So maybe there's someone interested, but in high school, a lot of those kids dad makes you be in the band because he was in the band or something. And I just knew I couldn't handle it. I couldn't take kids not wanting to be there. So.
Oh, and they also tied there for a while. We had this stupid initiative. I don't know, and I don't know where you're from, and I don't want to know. I think it's
Just
a good time for me.
We
but-
border each other.
We border each other. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there was that initiative that you had to graduate. You had to have so many community service hours. You had to be involved in so many extracurricular activities. And what we did was we forced kids into things they didn't necessarily want to do. And if you have shit parents that don't want to put time with their kids, put them into band.
Yeah.
I mean, with football, you got to go outside and play football with a kid. Baseball, you got to throw a football. You got to throw a baseball to a kid, teaching them bat. But really, the average person doesn't know how to play a trumpet. So stick your kids in there, and then they can self-teach, and you can go, I don't know, whatever you do as an adult besides raise your children. And that's the problem we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of tremendous growth in first-year arts and then very little carryover. And by the time you get to college, where you need your graphic designers, you need your next level symphony director, they're already done. They're worn out. They're beat. They're out of the game. And now you've got disillusioned 18-year-olds, which is never good in any situation.
Yeah.
Myself included, of course.
There's a lot of people that study psychology of music and the brain connections that go on and music and arts and visual arts and all that sort of thing, and how those kids tend to be better at learning how to learn and abstract thinking and figuring out how to by yourself how to figure out things and
absolutely
better learners. The Greeks knew this. The Greeks knew, and that's why art and music was such a big part of their elementary educations, because
that's why it's called classical studies. Exactly. You learn everything. And if you look at a guitar, you look at the fret, you look at the comparison to the keyboard, and you learn the circle of fifths, and you learn a basic intro. I'm not saying I can do this, but you learn an introduction to music theory, like Solar probably knows. Once you learn that theory behind it, the philosophy of it, it takes not only enjoyment of music, but it takes to a whole new level. It becomes three-dimensional. It becomes three-dimensional at that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Ties right into mathematics, ties right into literature, and everything just kind of interconnects, and you become better students, better academicians.
You become a better individual because you're able to connect dots.
Yeah. Audio. Here we go. I think I see what's wrong.
We're gonna figure this out, Solar. We're gonna get through this. Where is Big Larry? Is anybody still on Larry's stream? How can he not find me? I'm the only Todd Malicote on YouTube. And no, I'm that poor guy.
Well, I received a message from Vaughn earlier. He had a screenshot of me talking in chat on Larry's stream.
Okay.
And wanted to know if it was me. And I said yes. And just so you all know, I'm a troll. I'm a troll from the word go. I want there to be no confusion about it. Don't trust me. Don't give me any of your shit. I will fuck you the first chance you get.
We have no idea.
So, I mean, I'm up front with my shit at least, right? So
fair enough.
Okay.
But I tell you,
you told Vaughn this.
Wait
a minute, Woody. You told Vaughn this. I'm a troll. You told him.
Wow.
Yeah, Vaughn.
Okay.
I have never deviated at all from who I am as an individual. Never.
Well, I'm not judging when I say this, Woody, but I am curious though. Of all the Von Helton claims you heard, which was the most fucked up, outlandish?
Well, I don't want to turn this into the Vaughn show,
because I think it's disrespectful for him to not be able to defend himself. So I will stand to that. He has made several things that I disagree with. Several statements. Historically, he lacks some understanding. Probably the thing that drives me the fact the founding fathers all had slaves, and as a southerner,
there he is.
I will tell you point blank. You can say all the bullshit you want about states' rights and tariffs and all the things, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why when they wrote each individual constitution, the first thing they put in was the right to keep slaves.
I found
and
it.
So, and that's irrefutable. You just can't argue that point, and he does. And I've tried to explain it to him. It's a bad look for him. You know, he says he's a historian. That's a bad look. That's an obvious question that you should be able to get.
Yes. Woody, were you around when he was making the claims about having a PDF with all the slave owners' names and their phone numbers? Do you remember that?
Okay. You guys can hear me. I'm going to come back in. I'm just going to hook my headphones up and get rid of my camera. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, so.
Okay, well, I'm having a moment of transparency here, and so I will tell you point blank. I was looking at wrong-ins in other areas.
I love you and good night.
And somehow between my puppies are right. Hold on a second.
Yeah, they can.
Sorry about that. I have a new rescue that had to be corrected by the older rescue that she was pestering him. My apologies.
No, it's okay.
But I have a hobby for drones and airplanes, and I've been looking at stuff like that. And I think the combination between me chasing bad people and Vaughn putting paper airplanes and all that stuff he was doing for a while crossed paths. So we end up crossing like intersection wise. So I saw when he came up, there was some question marks about his kids and things. And I was originally told that he was a wrongin. And I'm not going to say what that word is. If you're familiar with terminology in Britain, that's slang. And I never saw any of that. I never knew Kim with kids, and he never once gave me any inclination he'd lean that way. So I talked to Vaughn, and I still talk to Vaughn. I don't mind talking to Vaughn. Vaughn is no different to me than the old guy that sits down at the cafe that drinks coffee every morning with everybody. It makes no difference to me. But that's how I came across. And then I was really involved in chasing down some bad people for a while, and I had a couple of, in my personal opinions, a couple of victories. And the group I was with were starting to cross some lines that, well, we can't. I did not feel comfortable crossing, and so I retired from the community. I reached out to Mrs. Parker. The last group that I was really going after, I reached out to Mrs. Parker personally on Discord and said, "Hey, look, I've got some real sick fucks. I've got them dead to rights. I can't do anything right now. I'm locked up. I need help, but I need pipe hitting fuckers. I don't need bullshit trolls. I need people that are willing to go the extra mile." And she said, "I can't help you." So I stepped away. That was it. That was my help. I felt like I had done my part. But the guy that I was after, I think he got 8 years, and I'm good with that. So, but I will be the first one to rat on any one of you when it comes to children.
Yeah. Same.
And
I agree.
And since I'm running off the mouth here, I'm going to just keep going. When did we think it's appropriate to ever defend a fucking chomo? David Anthony, who lives 20 minutes from my fucking house, sat right there and said, defended fucking Cyrax.
Yeah.
Well, no fucking way would that shit go. If that same son of a bitch was on David Anthony Street, because I know roughly where he lives. I pretty much know where he lives. If he's in that area, the motherfuckers there will take care of it. He doesn't have to make videos about it. They'll show up and take care of it. We don't have that shit where he lives and where I live. They're gone for a reason. And for him to go on there and say that he was right to take a bat to someone who had a sign up calling him out, fuck him. Fuck him.
I started out kind of seeing David's point and even maybe being on his side a little bit, that guy maybe crossed the line a bit. But I've totally flipped and changed my mind. That guy was 100% in the right. He did everything right. He stayed on the sidewalk. He stayed in public. He voiced his opinion. He's absolutely within the law. He's also absolutely within ethics as far as I'm concerned.
It does not matter, Todd, what you think or Woody thinks or Blue or anyone else, what the law says. And legally, he had a right to be there, and legally he was attacked. We could talk about it for 5 days. Doesn't matter. We know who got arrested.
Yeah.
You know, I worry about that guy because now that's all of his private information is now going to be public domain. And I can see where that would be an issue. That would be the concern, and always been a concern of mine when it comes to legality issues, is that once my name's on it, my name's all over the place when it comes to Rick Barry. They knew me firsthand. I blew that fucking place up with phone-wise, reporting him. I sent everything I could do to ruin that guy's life. You know, and the cops won't do anything. They say he's special needs. So they cut off his, so they started canceling his HIV appointments. So he started missing those, so he'd die. And that's when I said, okay, I got to fucking stop. This is getting out of control. Whenever they're, you know, they're in the NHS, they've hacked, you know, he's asking for food and they're taking his own credit card and using it to buy bots and buy views. So he gets up to 1,000 just so they can crush it from underneath him. I mean, and I was like, nah, I got to go. But by the way, Rick Barry just reached the magic number again. So feel free to go after Rick Productions. He is a horrible individual. I'm not saying do harm to him, but if you were to stop by his YouTube channel and just let him know that you haven't forgot, that would be A-okay. And tell him Woody said hi.
Hey, Larry, welcome to the Big Todd Show.
Thank you, Big Todd.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And you're on StreamYard. You're doing this in real time. You're getting better at this every time.
And I muted YouTube.
Larry's
Fantastic.
awesome.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're doing great.
I'm learning.
Larry reminds me of everybody, because I'm out in the country now. I'm not in the city. Reminds me of everyone around me. Just a good old boy. He stays in his house. And as far as I know, with the exception of Vaughn, he doesn't fuck with anybody else.
Yeah.
And really, what old do you?
I have to say something. I did yell at Rev and Shanny. I tried to call them out.
Well, that's okay.
Well, that's not. They don't count. They don't fucking
because
count.
I don't think
That's
anybody
long.
should touch anybody's kids.
Yeah. Just don't dox them.
Match
Because
for
then you're getting
$100 for a pack of Signal, for a bag of Delta 8, whatever the fuck that is. Who would win in a street fight, Rev or Shanny? We're talking about 4 drugs now. 4 drugs.
4 drugs.
Shanny.
Rev can get scrappy though. When it's over those.
Shanny would just sit on him, Todd.
You gotta get caught
maybe.
first.
Right, I agree with Larry. If Rev gets too close, she'll just fall on him.
Yeah,
And it's
you have
over.
to do the run around the ring thing.
Well, that's
Rope-a-dope.
that's the 2 rules when it comes to street fighting, at least out here in the country anyway. Is 1, the person with the most weight wins when it goes to the ground, and 2, it always goes to the ground.
Yeah. The run and strike thing for Rev wouldn't work forever. Once you got a hold of him,
It's over.
How did he spend? And I'm not a Shanny Rev guy. You know, obviously they weren't on my radar. Besides the fact they're just miscreants. How did he blow $700,000 and not be a complete coked out freak? How do you spend $700,000 and not die of a drug overdose? You give me $700,000, and by God, we're gonna light the world on fire.
yeah, well,
You give me $700,000, I'm surviving the rest of my life without working.
I would too. I'd stay right where I'm at. Get another dog.
Remember, I'm not certain, but I think this was over a period of 2, 3, or 4 years that they spent this money. It's easy. You add up drugs and DoorDash and lots of crap and $3,000 a month for a flat. Yeah, you can go through it. I couldn't do it.
$3,000 for a flat, brother. Where are they fucking living?
$3,000
is a
Nice
mansion in
area
Missouri.
of Boulder, Colorado, or it used to be.
You give me that house payment, and I will give you a mansion in Missouri, one for others to drive by and take pictures of.
I can give you 3 mansions here in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, but they don't want the outhouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but the problem is, according to everybody down there, you have to get the Vaughn discount. So
There's a lot of questions about Rev's finances that I don't even go into arguing it anymore because so what? Maybe he had $700,000 really. Maybe he just had credit. Doesn't really matter. He clearly spent a lot of money. But
The
I'm
reason you've always been skeptical of that claim, but
yeah.
during their performance art video, Rev screams out that he spent that much money.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the other way they could lose it was apparently Rev let Shanny be in charge of his stock investments.
Yeah. Oh.
And I don't know how much money they lost in the stock market, but that could be another reason that went through that money so fast. Again,
bullshit.
Speculation.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy that either.
Don't shoot the messenger, brothers.
No, I'm not.
I got you, Blue. I got you. But the average Joe doesn't just get to go invest money in the stock market. I mean, we have professionals for that. I mean, I have a very close relative that works for, Stifel Nicholas and Company, and that's who does my investing.
Rev claimed he worked as a stockbroker, which is he was never licensed. You can check that stuff. Anybody can search and tell he's not a stockbroker.
Todd, you as well as I both know that within the first opening sentence from a man's mouth, you know the level of standing where they're at. You know their level of academia. You'll be able to tell you the difference of guns and butter. They will be able to understand the basic economic concepts of things. I don't have to talk to a man very long to realize his station. I know that sounds arrogant because my station is at the very rock bottom. I'm the worst piece of shit on the planet. But I know where other people are at, like me.
Come on in, carnivorous. Anybody's welcome. It's link should be pinned. Link is also in the description. Anybody wants to come in?
That's where I found it, in the description.
There you go. Should still be pinned in the chat too.
Yep.
There at the top. So anybody feel free to come on in. Solar Marshall's going to try again. Hi, Solar. Are you back? Can you hear us?
What in the hell?
Can you hear us?
Okay, I got my headphones on and I still can't hear it through StreamYard. Or wait a minute here. I got to change this.
Something.
You mute YouTube?
Something wrong.
Well, I think he's saying you can't hear it through the StreamYard, which is really weird. Let's go down to your settings.
Yeah, I
there.
hear clear as day.
Yes.
Make sure your correct headset is selected.
And the headset.
And all that good stuff.
Test.
Although I do got to say, Woody, it's somehow disingenuous to say, oh, well, let's not make this about Vaughn, because
it's pretty bad.
Reasonably, that's the reason we are all here right now. That's the, magic connection for the five of us.
That's true.
Yeah, he's the one who got us all together.
The common denominator, but in the same token, I would like to think that we are all as adults able to think outside the spectrum, and maybe as adults, maybe discuss other things that are going on that involve other things than a hilltop in Kentucky. Yeah. I'm good to go either way. I'm just going to tell you that I personally, and I've known Vaughn for a while, at one time I had 27 hours plus recorded of Vaughn live, one-on-one personal recordings. He never once said anything that was incriminating. Not once. Not in that all that time. I deleted it all. It was all talk about secular opinion, money, things that are going on in the world, but he never once crossed the line. Not with me. Not with me. Now, I know there's the story about him and online with the but stick cam, and there was a woman there that he was talking to, was supposed to be for. I don't know any of that shit. That's way before me. But I personally have never seen that or heard it.
Gotcha.
Now, if you want to talk about poor finances and shit like that, I have no room to talk. So, I mean, I can't really say anything about it. I'm better off than Vaughn. I'm better off than Vaughn. I have a job.
I don't talk about Vaughn lore because I want to get him in trouble or I think he's hurting kids. I just find the stuff he makes up to be fascinating. The level of delusion he believes himself.
For example, today he said that the submersible that imploded or whatever, that's all made up.
Yeah,
that's all a hoax, according to Vaughn.
Yep, I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was a hoax. I think it was a poor decision on everyone's behalf. I think it was a grifter that got in over his head. I mean, I'm not going to go to the bottom of the planet with a joystick from Amazon. I'm sorry. I think that would be a red flag. There would be more red flags at Tiananmen Square than there were on that fucking flight or that dive.
And theoretically, a bunch of smart people, billionaires, people that have done well for themselves. Theoretically, people that know a little bit about the world.
Joe Biden's multimillionaire.
Getting this tin can to the bottom of the sea, and okay, safe. Wow.
I mean, that's just basic physics. That goes back to education. Maybe they should learn that.
I did love.
I don't have none of that.
Yeah.
But hey, Larry, whenever you feel bad, just remember that there's a 4-year-old right now whose father is a crackhead, addict, in debt up to his eyeballs, and a mother who's a stripper, and her grandfather is president of the United States. The leader of the free world. Write that shit up. You can't write it up. If I tried to sell that script to Hollywood, they'd say, fuck you, take a hike. No one would believe it. And we're living it. And everybody's cool with it. So that's all right. I'm good too, I guess. Bill's great.
Well, the sub stuff had to be fake because, Jacques Cousteau always had his submarines tethered to a ship on the surface. So that's got to be fake.
Got to be.
And I love the part about he couldn't remember if Jacques Cousteau was Italian or French.
Jacques Cousteau, I can't remember.
Because Jacques is such an Italian name.
Yeah.
Mr. 190 IQ, folks. Can't figure out where Jacques might be from. Frere Jacques.
Which, by the way, is about massacring a little bird. Probably the most disturbing song ever. If you know French, that song is all about stripping a bird of its wings till it dies.
Yeah. Ding dang dong. Yeah, it's dark. Anyway, hello everyone.
The whole deal with the this is a classic example of rich people with too much fucking money. Yeah. I mean, really, you have $250,000 laying around to go to the bottom of the ocean. $250,000 would take care of a lot of homeless vets, cure a lot of people's addiction, or at least make headway towards it. There's a lot of things you can do with $250,000. Where are the Vanderbilts of the day? Where are the guys the Rockefellers that at least built shit? We have the Bill Gates Melinda Foundation, but we know now that was all about getting their own computers into libraries to collect data. So where are these philanthropists that we're seeing today? I don't see them. I hear them, but I don't see their actions. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I would like to point out that the homeless think very highly, many of the homeless, I should say, think very highly of Bill Gates for providing the computers that they use so often.
And I would proffer that those computers would be there anyway. And it's not the responsibility of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We have a Veterans Administration that has been poorly underfunded for a very long time. I myself never had I never served. I don't have that distinction and I don't have that honor. But I was a son of a World War II veteran, and I did raise him throughout 3 cancer battles, took care of him. And I know what the VA did for me. And it was greatly underfunded until Trump got in office. And then it became a lot better. Now, I'm not a Trump guy. Screw him. But it was better.
Hey, Carnivorous Ape. Good to see you. Sorry to say
Hey, how
hi.
you doing?
Yeah, good to have you. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, well, I mean, my neck of the woods is only a couple hours west of you, but
Yeah. You got the winds last night, I think, that we got the week before. My power was off 4 days, dude.
4 days?
geez.
Oh, there are trees down everywhere still. We got 114 mile an hour winds where I am.
Oh,
Yep.
geez.
Wind gust measured 114. And it was steady 80 plus for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a
20
straight
minutes.
flat wind. That flips trucks.
It was
That's
a dare
an
show.
18-wheeler.
Yeah. It was a dare show. Yeah, came right through here. And basically the whole city was down for a week. It was crazy. My work, we were running on a generator, hotter than hell. And of course, it was 90 the next day and 95 the day after that. And no AC anywhere. Unbelievable.
Oh, hell, it was 107 today.
Yeah.
And humidity is hell.
Of
Yeah,
course.
humidity is what kills you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible.
So you must be from the Northeast then, Todd.
Oh, no. I don't make any I tell everybody where I'm from. I live in Tulsa. I'm straight
Oh.
southwest of you.
Okay, well,
Everybody knows where I am.
all right.
I live a little west of Tulsa.
I am well familiar with Tulsa, Oklahoma. I raised fucking hell at 71st and Yale. I tore shit up. Find the pink Catholic church. Go right down to Sutures. The same guy that owned Green Onion owned Sutures at the corner there, and I worked. And I was on the 7th floor. This is before I was obviously in education. This is back when I used to make money. Yeah. I was in charge of sales and telemarketing on the 7th floor of that bank building. And I used to hang out with R.D. Mercer.
Oh, no kidding.
And get drunk as fuck with him.
Yeah. This is Roy Damn Mercer.
God tell you. Roy goddamn Mercer. How big old boy are you?
You guys messed up my paint job, and goddamn it, I want to kick somebody's ass. Well, we'll do it again for you. So I don't want you to do it again. Screwed up the first time. Now I'll whoop some ass.
That's right. I'll pack lunch, son bitch.
God, that guy was something.
Oh, yeah, God, he was good.
I'm not far from there. I know right where you are. ORU area.
Okay, well, so you must be up. You're probably in Broken Arrow, farther south, more money. I was when I came to Oklahoma, they said just stay south of 44. You're fine. Perfect. If you go north of 44, speak Spanish, you'll be fine. So. By the way, great Spanish place up there. Best Mexican restaurant I've ever seen. They don't speak a word of English. No. Dirty as shit. Roaches on the wall. Best tasting food you ever have.
It's the food trucks. There's food trucks.
There's a line out the goddamn door to get this food, and it's the nastiest place you'd ever possibly see.
Well, they don't have brick and mortars anymore. They're all food trucks.
Right.
Everywhere, and you get a huge plate of food for $5. It's unreal. Everywhere, all over town.
There was a pizza place, and it was an Italian pie. The guy moved from New York, and he had a great olive oil based pizza, a pie. And you weren't allowed to call it pizza. You had to call it pie. You had a pie. You had a fucking pie. Yeah, you come in and get a fucking pie. You want pie? What kind of pie? It was great.
Might be Mondo's, might be Zio's. Mondo's or Zio's are the two big Italian places.
Well, I haven't lived there since 2001.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
So it's been a little bit. I started the new year. I called it my tour of duty of my company. I got sent there as a Slack promotion.
You got temporarily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But there were some great places there in Oklahoma. There was a place north of there I used to go to that was a TP bar. Do you know this place?
TP bar.
I want to say Sapulpa, and it still had a
on the west side here.
There was a place outside. He actually had a hitching post still, and I saw it. And I ordered a beer. My buddy was from New York. We walked in there, and he said, "I'm not saying a word. This place is too rough." He goes, "You can speak this language. You're good with these people." And so I did. I did all the all talking and did the thing, and ordered a beer. One beer came in Natural Light can, and they gave it to us. Slid it down the bar, and at the end they just dropped it in a hole and we went into the basement. And they had a guy come and collect them at the end of the month. Crazy shit. Crazy. I had horses out. I mean, it's just awesome. Oklahoma was great people. No money. Great people.
No money. Not anymore. Oil since the oil bust.
Do they still have the pool hall up by the airport, the Hangar 16 bar, 9 ball, 50
by the Tulsa International,
50 on the 5, 50 on the 9?
I don't go up there. It's north of 44.
I remember when I first moved to Oklahoma. I know I'm doing a lot of talking. When I first moved to Oklahoma, there was I was put in a motel for a month. While they were trying to figure out what the fuck to do with me. And I was in there, and there was a guy sitting there, and he had a cigar in his mouth, and he was just doing a shot. I mean, he was having a drink, but he was drinking them like shots. And I said, "Brother, you have a bad day?" And he said, "It's always a bad day for us pilots." And that pilot, he was one of the American airline pilot testers. They put their plane through the rigmarole, like to the stress limits. Mm-hmm. And he had to do that with his particular plane. And he was coming down from his, I just tried to kill myself in a big fucking plane trip. And he was just drinking like crazy. And there's my neighbor.
David Anthony, welcome to the stream.
Hi.
How you doing?
Are we neighbors?
Yeah. You're both in Missouri, yeah?
Well, I mean, if he delivers to, I think you do a little Uber Eats or something, don't you?
I do DoorDash on the side.
You do DoorDash. Where the,
I'm a caregiver, though. I go to old folks' homes and help them out.
Oh, good things for them.
Yeah.
I where the preserves
are so blurry.
Yeah, your camera is a little blurry. Weird.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
David, you know where Shoal Creek's at?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
The preserve, Shoal Creek.
It's out north. It's not north. It's east of where I'm at, Fairview.
Yeah, it's east. It's right before Liberty. Clayview Country
That was
Club,
the area I couldn't think of. That was the area I was like, right on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't. Well,
I can walk to the Chicago tap room.
It's east of Gladstone. So you got
Oh yeah,
you got Fairview, Gladstone, and then Liberty.
and I technically live in Kansas City, but I say Liberty because when you're from a very small town and they hear something happens in Kansas City, they just assume that shit happened in your yard.
Yeah.
Kind of,
You know,
Kansas
so
City's
if there's
really
a
spread
shooting,
out.
if there's a shooting, they're like, "Hey, you okay?" I'm like, "That was an hour away from me," and same city.
Yeah. So what are we doing, gentlemen? I just got home like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, we were talking to Larry in chat, and a bunch of people said they wanted to panel up so they could talk. So I started the stream.
And David,
Oh, yeah.
I was on your channel the other day, and I want to discuss something with you.
Okay.
Okay, I think you and I would get along great normally, but I cannot handle any defense of Chance Wilkins. I'm sorry.
I
There
really
is
wasn't
no
trying to defend
defense
that,
for
man.
that creature.
There isn't.
I'm sorry.
There isn't. You're right. There isn't.
I mean, if there was 1 million people protesting outside, that would have been fine. My regret is,
issue
as soon
was-
as he swung that bat, that should have been taken from him and stuck up his ass sideways.
Okay. The thing is that my objection was to the man putting himself in danger. If that was what I was talking about, that's what I was coming against. Is that it did just seem to be a bright thing to do, to go to these little scouts' houses because, you don't know. They could snap, they could pull out a gun,
Yeah,
and it would have been way worse. Way worse.
good point. Good point. He has pulled a gun before. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So I will concede that he was poor judgment on his behalf.
But I
But
wasn't
once it was
defending
down,
Cyrix. Cyrix deserves everything that's happening to him. He does.
but David, why is it still happening? Help me understand this.
What do you mean?
Why is it still happening? Because the trolls, and I'm not a troll hater, I'm a troll. But because trolls feed into it, it gives him adverse power. It gives him, in his delusional
I'm a
fucking
little
mind,
confused. I'm a little confused.
an opportunity to share.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
What I mean is that the troll fixation with Cyrax drives him because he doesn't have the ability
It thrives on the hate.
to understand the hate and the hate and the admiration.
It's just like Shanny and Rev. I'm to the point now where I think
Rick Barry and everyone else.
they should all just be agreed with, and they should all be like encouraged to be the way they are, so that reality smacks them even harder.
Yeah. It's the same old line, and it was the same thing with G-Man for years and years. If everybody just ignore him, he'd go away. If everybody stopped making fun of him and making it, and that's never going to happen. I mean, it may be
I don't
true.
think G-Man will ever go away.
That may be true, but you're never going to get everybody to stop talking about these people. It's just, it's a
The easiest
pipe
way is to just not do it, not be
dream.
online.
Yeah, you can not do it yourself, but there's
That's why
everybody
I
else.
think
You
it's
got no
cool.
control over.
I'm going to be 90 talking about Vaughn Hilton.
I think it's cool to make fun of these people on your channels. You
Mm.
make fun of their public displays and crap like that. But phone calls, like this one guy was calling Cyrex's house right after he apparently got out of jail. So this other fellas called his house and did it right on a live stream. Of course, there's no answer. They tried to call his mother, Sally. He tried to call. I was like shaking my head, going, "Why? This is just too much."
Well,
Well, I can tell you that he's not taking calls from attorneys in jail. I know that firsthand.
No, he's out of jail.
Oh, he got out same
Well,
day.
I mean, that night he could, but that
No,
night
no,
he wasn't taking phone calls.
I think we all agree that there's a line. I mean, there's a line that's too far. Clearly, we have a lot of problems with that gray area. How far should you go? Is this a bad
Some
thing to
people
do? Is this
want
okay?
beef, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a lot of disagreement. I don't think the guy did terrible. He stayed within the law. The ninja outfit was a little bizarre, but not illegal.
Cyrus could
A
make the
ninja
claim
outfit that
and
a
he-
year ago he would have been ticketed if he did not have on. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
he
Let's
could
not
make the
forget that he
claim
could be
that,
arrested for that.
people are picking on him and stuff. He can make that claim, and there'd be some some wiggle room for him there.
Well,
Considering
it's
that
not
the
a-
guy stood outside his house dressed like a freaking terrorist.
It's not illegal to try to stand outside somebody's house.
dress like
not.
a freaking terrorist. It's
It's not illegal to dress like a ninja. It's not.
I'm not talking about legal. I'm talking about you got to know how to read the room.
Well, yeah.
You
As far as morality and ethics, yeah, there's some disagreement there, but
you have to know who you're dealing with and what kind of reaction you're trying to provoke from him.
Yeah.
If he's standing outside dressed like a terrorist, you're going to freak out most people doing that.
Agreed.
I'll never forget a conversation I had with the sheriff after 18 holes of golf and much beer and $200 lost. He told me, he said, if you shoot somebody, just make sure they die in your yard.
Oh, wow.
And he said, it'll never be a prosecution.
Make it a headshot, huh?
Hey, Woody, aren't you like on a lot of Vaughn streams?
Yeah.
Because
I'm not a lot of them, but I've been around the Vaughn verse.
What's that guy's name? Secular something.
Secular
Solar Marshall.
And Solar Marshall's been here too, yeah.
Yeah, so I get you and him mixed up when you mess with Vaughn.
Well, there's a big difference between the two of us. Solar seemed like a nice gentleman. He has his own deal, and I think Solar has his own demons he's dealing with, and like all of us. And
well,
good luck.
You both have similar sounding voices, and you have about the same energy level. When you're in your conversations, you have like bring the same level of passion to your conversations and all that.
Well, I get passionate about certain things that one of the main problems I have is the fact that, and like Vaughn and like maybe several of you, I'm an old man that lives out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't have kids. And so I have a couple of dogs, and guess what? They're not great conversationalists. At least they're okay till we get to Spanish, and they're fucked. But my point is that I don't have a lot to do, so I get on here and I talk to people. I don't tie my well-being, my sanity, or my finances to anything I do online in this capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you all said, fuck you, you're the most horrible person on the planet, I'd be like, fine, fuck you too. And we would never speak again, and it would be all good. And that's the way it is. Now, David, I think you're a pretty good guy. I've listened to your content, and I'd love to have I don't drink, but I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee sometime and have a talk at a mutual place at your convenience. I would love to do that. I would love to make some friends outside the realm of things, and I love to have good historical conversation debate. And I'm looking forward to Father Jay, his whole JFK deal. I've been looking forward to it now for a fucking month. Come on, Schneider. And I'm looking forward to this conversation.
I
know he's busy.
Off.
God bless him. I know he's busy. He's working his ass off, and I respect that. But let's make it happen.
Yeah, I got Tuesdays off. I mean, you want to like meet at like a coffee house or someplace? You know?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, you know where Lafayette County's at?
No, I have to look it up.
Okay, it's Warrensburg, Missouri State. Not Missouri State. University.
Oh, if you give me an address, I'll find it. I got, I'll just put that.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah.
I've played at all the fine directional schools in Missouri.
So did you ever spend any time around? You were a musician. Are you familiar with Bobby Watson from UMKC? The great Bobby Watson. He's arguably the greatest jazz musician on the planet right now.
I think
saxophone.
I was there in the mid '90s to late '90s. I lived in Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
And I was gigging on the Kansas side quite a bit. I can't remember the name of the suburb. It's a road like Orange Blossom Trail or something like that. Sound familiar?
You're talking about
jazz clubs out there in Blackwood or something. It's been so long, I don't recall, but I played a lot of jazz in the Lenexa area and southeast Kansas City on the Kansas side. Several jazz clubs over there. But,
awesome.
That was in the 90s.
I need
to correct Krista in the chat.
Oh, correct Krista in the chat. Here we go.
Yeah, I actually got off the road here about 3 months ago. I'm actually a teacher now.
Yeah. Teaching America's youth to drive them big rigs, aren't you?
You're teaching truck driving?
Yep.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Truckers, I'll never forget one day, and this was years ago. There was a truck driver, and I just said, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just said, hey, man, it was like 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. I was going to work early. I was back when I was still in the school system. And I said, hey, man, thanks for what you do. And the guy cried. The guy teared up, and he said, I've been doing this for 30 years, and no one's ever said thank you for being a trucker. And I'm like, man, you're the guy that gets the paper here. I got no pencils. I don't got a job, bitch. So, utmost respect. Utmost respect for truckers.
Most of everything you buy at the store is delivered by truck.
Oh, yeah.
And in the next 10 years, whenever the South has
I
finally
went to truck
taken
driving
away,
school
and they've
years
shut down the
ago.
Midwest, and we've isolated California and the horrible East Coast and the horrible West Coast, and there's nothing but red throughout the middle. The truckers will be instrumental with the Missouri River and the tributaries with the Mississippi to keep us going while we hold off the alien invasion. Which I mean by alien, I mean Democrat.
Good.
Oh, yeah, I went
I
to
have no
truck
problem with
driving
aliens.
school years ago. It was around 2000 or so. That freaking semi scared the crap out of me, man. I couldn't handle it. I mean, I passed the written stuff and everything, but I barely passed the actual driving part. I was like, and they told me, said, "You're not a truck driver."
Oh,
you might have
you
got
would
your
be
CDL,
surprised.
but you're not a truck driver. I
Yeah,
said,
you
no,
would be surprised how many
you
people
got
come
8
through this
mirrors
school.
and, oh Lord.
Yeah, because our school, you're required to have your permit before you actually show up. You'd be surprised the number of people that show up without their permit and they don't even
Wow.
bother getting it till like the middle of the second week.
So
And-
are there no hours involved? Like the flight, you have to have so many hours. Are there no hours involved in this? Because you would think there would be so many road hours involved under supervision, because you're basically flying a plane on the ground.
There is. So you're required to have your permit for at least 2 weeks before you can test for your license.
So basically the same as a 16-year-old trying to get his license for the first time.
Kind of.
And also depends on the company.
and
Actually, that's not true.
Yeah.
There's more work involved in getting. Based on
some of
that, there's
them-
more work involved in getting a license at 16.
Right. Some of them are puppy farms and they just shove you through. That's how mine was. I had and it was also winter, so that didn't help. So
no, we definitely have an elite system.
I had 3 days of actual driving before I was required to take the test and all that. It was nightmare. It really was.
Damn it.
Let me ask you a question.
can't believe this,
How many
man.
students
Sorry.
did you have per truck?
Still nothing.
There
Hold
was
on.
4 of us.
4 of you?
Gotta
Yeah,
mute your
one
mic,
truck, yeah.
Solar. Oh,
Yeah. See, we run classes of 5 per teacher. They don't always get filled up, but like we back for 3 hours a day. We drive for 3 hours a day. So I mean, everybody gets their time.
And aren't the trucks manual? Not manual. I mean automatic now.
No, we don't teach automatic.
No.
Yeah, that was something I had difficulty with.
double clutching and all that good stuff.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, double clutching and everything.
Now, I'm asking a question real quick. I know truck drivers, and I have many friends that are truck drivers. How is this bullshit in California going to affect my buddy down the street, who drives a truck to Los Angeles once a week, in a truck that he owns, that he paid for, that he mortgaged his home for? How is that going to affect him, sir?
Okay, so in August, they are actually changing the DOT standard. Basically, as long as you have your permit before you enter the school, then technically you only need 2 weeks of schooling. The problem is our school is not following that code. It's still going to be a $5,000 class. It's still going to be 4 weeks of training. And if you're willing to pay the extra money, you are going to come out at a much higher level than the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah, deservedly so. I'm sorry, I phrased the question wrong. I'm talking about the electric transition, electric via fuel, hard fuel like we have today.
Oh, that's not going to affect it that much.
Having an entire
testing.
state with the third largest
can hear you.
GDP with no gas, I'm
Can
going
you
to
hear
make
me,
a
Todd?
difference.
What about AI?
Yeah,
taking
we
over?
hear you, Solar.
Thank you.
What about this? What about AI taking over
Yeah,
driverless? Driverless.
Well,
So-
let's pick a
Okay,
path.
so the
Let's pick a
thing
path
is,
here. I
though,
can go
is-
AI with you, but let's pick a path.
Okay. Even with the AI, the driverless trucks, because they've already demonstrated it with like the Google car and everything like that, there's still going to be a need for a technician inside the truck.
That's been the
And-
selling story for a long, long time. We're going to bring in all these robots into our factories, but don't worry, no one's going to be laid off, because they're all going to be now higher paid technicians, which defeats the purpose, by the way, economically, than have the fucking robots there. But they're going to be higher paid now to sit by that robot and make sure it works. That's not factual.
The problem is though, is unless they put the trucks on rails, which we already have a train system, so that would be stupid. Then they still have to transit on the public roadways, which means there needs to be somebody behind that wheel to take control. It's just like the concept of a pilot and an autopilot.
Then
Okay,
what's the
speaking of
point in having
autopilot,
that?
why don't we use drones and take care of all of that bullshit and
What
not have
about
any
all
trouble?
that battery power we need?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're
Battery
working
power
on
comes
drones that
from
will deliver
overseas.
packages, so I'd be out of a job. If
I
they-
mean, the thing on that is that's the reason why I got off the road. I'm actually spending at least a year teaching, so I can get the teaching experience. Next year, I'm actually going to be opening up an outdoor survival school. So I need the actual teaching experience so I can actually, learn how to teach people, not just run through the program.
Psychology of teaching. You mean that they just put people in school and say, here's a bunch of history, now go teach them? It's not that simple?
No.
That was
Can you
my
teach a guy
experience.
named Vaughn how to drive a truck?
Go teach jazz. It's easy.
There's been a couple of students, because I've only been doing this for about 3 months, but there's been a couple of students that I've equated to Vaughn and G-Man and these
Safer,
people.
right? You're much safer lifestyle.
So,
Being
what
on
do
the road.
conspiracy theories have to do with driving a truck?
Well, I would think there's two that people need to address immediately. One is the incredible amount of downtime called to recharge batteries, and two, the fact that they are literal bombs in the making. It's great if you're new and you buy a brand new Tesla every 3 years, but the poor son of a bitch like me that has to buy the secondhand one is driving a time bomb.
Why
I
would
don't
they
think
crack
they'd allow
open?
that on the road. That would go against like a
That's
whole bunch of
crazy with
safety laws.
Trying to push this everything electric, man. It's and the battery power comes from overseas. We're powerless after a while. We're not energy independent. It's just the worst thing we can be doing.
How you
Yeah.
doing? How'd you piss off Vaughn?
Well, you know what, Vaughn? I didn't even do anything to the guy. He sent me something that I supposedly said in a video, and I agreed to what it said. He just said something like he wasn't talking to me because I had said that he was crazy and out of his mind in a video. I'm like, yeah, Vaughn, I'll tell you that right to your face. You are crazy and out of your mind. And for that reason, he's not speaking to me anymore. And it was just ridiculous, dude. There was something else too. He's mad because I think he's mad at John from what I'm told. This is really funny because John supposedly gave some chick $1,000 and didn't give it to Vaughn.
2,000.
Yeah, it's up to
Jesus.
2,000 now, but he's
2,000.
mad at me for saying that he's a nutcase and shit. I said, you are a goddamn nutcase, John. Holy shit. I said, you
And
are
Krista, I don't
crazy.
work for 360.
Yeah, I said, man, it's the only reason people watch you is because how damn crazy you are. I said, if you weren't crazy, I said, no one care. And then he went into how he's a genius and all this shit,
God.
Oh, man,
What do you
know,
think? What do you think about the video he
I
put
would like
out?
to address the IQ thing if we ever get a chance. I would
I'm
like
the one
to
that
go
argued
there.
that with
Okay,
him
go
like
ahead.
a year and a
Go
half
ahead.
ago, the 192.
Yeah, Dan, you and I tag teamed him on that one.
Yeah, actually, it was Todd and me, yeah.
High
For like a
five.
whole day and a half.
Did he
Remember
say
that?
he was tested when he was like 5?
He was
Yeah,
reading
he
Shakespeare.
said when I was a young kid, I read Shakespeare at 5.
No, he's
What
4.
did he say, Todd? He had read Shakespeare.
He was
at
reading
5?
Shakespeare, and they wanted to know how smart he was, so they gave him an IQ test with a bunch of his peers. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's a good reason to get a bunch of 5-year-olds in a room to take that probably can't
Yep.
read and write yet.
He had
And
memorized
I was
every
going to say he
dinosaur
couldn't
by
write his
name,
name,
all
but
their
he can
bones.
read Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd, what was the thing about he memorized every single dinosaur and all their
Mhm.
bones and all that
All-
stuff?
all
at
their
the age of
names, all
5
their
also?
bones.
Wait a minute. He thinks T-Rex is a chicken.
I know.
Well,
No, chickens are dinosaurs.
That was me. I was the one actually that brought the chickens turned
What do you mean he
into
knows all the names of the bones and stuff? He can't even tell the difference between a T-Rex and a
What
chicken.
most people don't understand about IQ though, it is not about rote memory. Rote memory has nothing to do with IQ, intelligent quotient. Has nothing to do with it. It's a baseline of 100, and it is all about basic logic and reasoning skills.
Oh, not
It
to
is
him.
irrelevant even to language to a point. Now, obviously, the question has to be written, but at a certain point, though, it is about logic. So let's take a guy who's really good at trivia. There was a great TV show where there's a guy, The Chase, I believe it was, and it's a famous British quiz bowler. And he is not a member of Mensa. He is he's a millionaire because of his rote memory. However, he is not a Mensa eligible member because his IQ does not reach the 130 threshold. And if you know people who have been above the 130 threshold, as Marcus Aurelius once said, if you ever go into a room, you're the smartest guy, you're in the wrong room. But if you actually know people who are 130 or better, they are on a fucking different level than you. You have to be at that level to even have a conversation. You're not on YouTube bullshit. Classic example is Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman does a great job doing interviews, but it is a pain to watch him do it because he's so smart, and an inability to communicate at that level is different for him than it is for the average person.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to
friend
dumb
Warren
down your
was like
conversation. I can't stand listening to Vaughn. Within each sentence is loaded with bullshit. Just saturated with just idiotic bullshit.
Everything's a lie. Just makes it all up on the fly.
Yep.
Well, he'll have to have.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go as a lie.
Not allowed to
Misperception.
lie.
He probably believes it.
You know?
Is it a lie if you believe it yourself?
He'll have one level of bullshit, and then he'll add another level of bullshit on top of that. And his assumptions, he has false assumptions, and then that leads to other false assumptions, which leads to other false assumptions, and it's just a big freaking follow the breadcrumbs kind of shit. And
oh yeah, let's not forget the slave owners' phone numbers.
Now, Todd,
how the hell do slave owners have phone numbers decades before the phone?
Yep.
Yeah, he's
And
a
the
narcissist.
PDF.
And then who was it that pointed it out to him? I don't remember. But they said that when he had the list of the black slave owners, they said that was a book of black slave owners. It wasn't a book of all the slave owners.
Yeah, it was
Just
written.
black one.
Yeah, but about.
Yeah, that was me. I had to track that damn PDF
Oh, that
down.
was you. Okay.
We found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you and I did a stream together and showed the PDF.
He was
Yeah, and it listed maybe 3,000 or 4,000 slaves out of the couple of
hundreds of
100,000
thousands.
slaves.
Exactly.
But most slavery in general was basically you own one or two slaves, and the most common thing that freed people bought with their freedom and the money they acquired was their family. So yes, I guess technically speaking, do you own a slave? Well, yeah, I guess you bought a slave, but it's your kid.
It was a tiny minority too.
It wasn't right to begin with.
Von comes off pretty racist, and he has no clue that he does. You know
The
that?
baby doesn't have the mother's blood; it only has the father's. And his
Oh, good God.
proof is
Yeah.
that the baby takes the father's name. Like what if the mother wasn't married?
That's why they call it the bloodline. The bloodline.
The bloodline.
Wouldn't you agree Vaughn comes off pretty racist, guys? I mean, he just has no.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and then he
His
jumps
last
back to
video
his-
was nuts.
red man.
I don't think it's intentional. And Larry, and I mean no
Come on,
disrespect by
Woody.
this, but I will tell you that I know a million people like Larry and Vaughn, and the fight in between that. That's not uncommon. Family feud. Look at the Hatfields McCoys. That shit only happened 30 miles north of Larry. I mean,
That
so
was racism.
I'm used to the bullshit.
Like Vaughn claims to
you know-
not be racist. That's what's so funny.
Woody,
about it.
you weren't around for the "I want to talk to the good blacks" video.
Oh my!
You missed all
God.
that.
Are you kidding?
You
I never
missed
heard
all
that.
that.
If
I know that's what we're saying.
If I heard the good blacks, I would
He's
probably not tune in
racist.
anymore.
He's completely
Oh, like-
racist.
Oh Lord,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
remember when he
I see.
called G-Man one of the good ones?
Yeah, one of the good ones. And
you're one of.
Oh, yeah.
oh, it's This was back when he was still with Andrea. It was just
Well, I don't understand the Zionist plot of his with John. I'm trying to be respectful with John. He is very. I know he toes that line with the whole Jewish Zionist conspiracy thing, and there's John right there trying his best to be a Jew, or Muslim, or Hindu,
Jews.
or
Jews,
whatever girlfriend this week will
man.
take him. I'm not sure what Corky's religion is now, but
Quirky.
I'm pretty sure he's a Sabelliist.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been following that whole thing, but yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I pretty much stayed out of that mess.
the best thing for him to do is to hang up the computer. Hang up the computer. He has a girlfriend that loves him, cares about him,
Really?
that gives him
She loves
sex. Hang up. Go
No.
be you. Be happy.
Where did he find this girlfriend at
He
Corky?
drug her into this mix. He drug her into this mess, which will never end well. Why?
He's still drinking?
Why?
He's still getting drunk?
The first day he was showing selfies of the two of them in bed. I mean, come on. The first day. He
No
couldn't wait to
No way.
upload
I
that.
think it's more first hour.
No
He couldn't
way.
wait to show everybody. Look at my.
I'm sorry. Isn't Sabella kind of a hefty gal?
Well, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong
You
with
could
Yes.
say that.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
super
that.
nice of you.
Oh my gosh! It's
Yeah,
one of
but
the
when you're
people from
when you're
Florida.
4'10" and
Mm.
Oh my God!
Did you take into
Hey,
account?
his
some
name
people
again?
like them kind of women.
Did
What's
you
his
take into
name on
consideration
YouTube,
to cut off
Larry?
blue shirt?
Well,
That's a factor.
What
What's
I don't
his
like
name?
is when unattractive people try to come off like they're models.
Damn it!
That's what annoys me. Like, I know,
What is his What's
I know
his
what I
name
am.
on
I
YouTube?
know
I
what- I
can't
know
even
what I look
remember. For Christ's
Nick
sake!
Bravo.
That's right.
But why do they do that?
I got to see
Well,
this
why
girlfriend.
like Shanny and all the rest of them? They try to act like
Holy
they're
Christ.
like very desirable and very attractive and hot, and it's like, no, you're not. You're the
Oh,
opposite.
They're perfect together. She's got dyed black hair. Yes, behind him is a picture of him and her in bed together. For goodness sakes!
Shanny's accent could ruin a blowjob. Just
Oh
saying.
my God!
Yeah.
That's
Just the smell
unbelievable,
alone
Todd.
would
I'm
do
not.
that.
I'm not sure where she's from, but apparently they don't have G's in their language. There's no G's. Am I hearing that right? Even though she hangs out with G Man, is that where the G went? G Man? I'm confused.
No, for some reason the any word that ends in ing is where she screws up.
There you go.
I know what that means.
Ah,
There they are.
We have a name. Oh.
Don't need to.
Can we
There
get a warning,
you go.
please? Can we get a warning?
I'm glad.
Sabella, does Sabella
Hello,
have a hairy
alopecia.
back,
Oh, look at right.
or is
right
that
there.
just from her head?
She's got dyed black, and then she has it shaved down the middle or something. It looks
No,
like.
does she got hair on her back?
No, she's literally got a receding hairline.
Really?
No, look
Oh,
at her
yes, she
shoulder.
does.
Shoulder.
Look at her shoulder. Is that
Freckles, I think. Freckles.
Holy hell! Is that hair on her shoulder? Is that?
I'm pretty sure it's freckles.
Jesus.
I hope
Oh
it's
my
freckles.
God, we just solved the
Holy
missing link.
hell!
No.
Look at the
You know
smile on
what?
his face. Remember, that's the first
See-
time he's ever been with a woman. I think, right?
See, this
I
shouldn't be happening. I mean, it's like, yeah, we
This
should
is
be seeing
incredible.
it. You
Everybody's
can,
hairier than me right
you
now.
can be with someone, you
Show
can
some
be with
more
anyone you
pictures
want.
there, Todd. I'm losing it. Show some more.
You can be with anyone you want, but come on,
Unbelievable.
unless you were good looking, you don't flex that shit. Come on.
That's amazing. Yeah. I'm shocked.
How about this? How about leave your personal life at fucking home?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Has
Why
that
show
crossed
that?
anybody's mind at all ever?
Maybe
Maybe
put a
this
fucking
girl I'm
picture
banging
of
doesn't
I
him.
need
would
to be
never
online.
do that. I would never do that to any girl. I would never do that.
And
to
he's
anyone.
like 50 years old, isn't he? Putting himself out
No,
there
he's
like
not quite
that,
that old. He's not up there.
isn't he?
She is apparently 36.
Oh yeah.
36.
like a picture together
God,
at
she's
a
my
They'll
restaurant
be in
age.
a
or
drunken
something.
rage fight soon.
Like you're out to dinner, you're on a date, a picture of that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
Or you're
Yeah, but
you're
no,
you're
ran
on
right
a
to that.
boat, like a rowboat, a canoe, and you're having a romantic evening, or you're giving each other a smooch or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But in bed together, nobody needs to see that shit.
And he couldn't wait. Couldn't wait to upload it.
Agreed, David.
But David,
Oh
don't
my
you think?
God.
Don't you think that those pictures should be better reserved to Instagram with your actual real followers or your Facebook?
I think
you
they
actually
should
have
be in
family
your
and
private
friends.
Where did they
collection.
put it? Where did he put them out on
No.
Facebook or something?
No, nobody should be seeing that except you and
Oh
her.
my God.
Nobody should be
So
seeing
does their Facebook
If you
account
do-
say they're in a relationship and all
To
that?
be honest,
stuff?
after seeing that picture, nobody should see it, even them.
If you are ashamed to have your family see it, like your mom or your dad, then nobody should be seeing it.
Well, I don't think his family talks to him, do they?
Well, I used to
Well,
be
I'm talking
scared of the
about
dark.
like a
Now I'm not hearing
regular,
back. Now I'm scared of the light.
Most
Thanks.
people's relationships that are somewhat pleasant. I mean, I mean,
Oh, my God,
I don't want my mom to see it. I don't want anybody to see it.
I'm not up for another yuck bang.
Oh,
no.
I guess the real
Well, for
question
some
here
reason, I
is now
think
that Shani's available, who's going to be in the films with her? Who's going to
Excuse me?
pick up that
Hold on a
mantle?
minute. Is Shani
Shani's available?
single?
I thought she's on the market now. I was going to try to. I was going
No,
to try
she's
to put
still
some
with
pressure on
Crazy to
Larry
leave
to
the
step up.
house.
Oh my.
And who would be
I heard
desperate
Larry.
to want
What was that?
Who want that?
I think
that
you need to step
smelly,
up and
sweaty,
show her what a
sticky
woman,
style
what a man
anyway?
is.
No,
Well,
thank you.
After
I'm
Rick, you need to
happily
show her
married.
What a man is.
You know, I actually think we should all encourage Shani and her delusions of being hot. I think, in fact, I put this on Drader's live stream today. I said we should all encourage. In fact, I think Shani should go get a thong, put it on, and go strut her stuff on a beach.
Is she still 560 pounds? She's got to
lost
be.
100 pounds, yeah.
Yeah.
So
How did she
she can do
lose
that.
weight moving in a place and not having any money because the donations fed her? Or I saw they were eating
There are
good.
people
better than I
offline that
do.
give her money. There are people
Knock you
offline
off.
that they direct message, that they cold call, they beg from people. And there's somebody out there that's always giving them something.
Somebody's been helping
That's true.
them. Well, look at all the money they gave away. That's where most of their money went. They gave it away.
No, they did. They smoked it.
What did they do?
They put it in a bong and lit it on fire. That's what they
That's
did.
true, but that's a lot of weed to smoke $700.
They did a lot.
David,
I
David,
mean,
I'm
they
going to
spent
warn
like
you.
$5,000 on those
What's that?
freaking. They spent
I
like
didn't hear you,
$5,000
Woody.
on those.
They could have lived off of that for quite some time.
Right.
I think there's
He
more
had
drugs
750K.
involved. I think there's more drugs involved than just weed or Delta
Yeah,
8.
there was
They
a
could
lot
have
going
lived-
on.
They
They
could
never
have
slept.
easily for 10 years on that. At $75K a year, they could have easily lived 10 years.
They never
In fact-
slept.
In fact, if I was in Rev's shoes, what I would have done is, I would have blown, maybe 10 or 20K, just fucking around, just having a, blast or whatever. Once I got out of my system, I would have fixed up the house, both houses, since he had two. I would have rented out one. I would have took some money and I would have went to school so that I could learn some kind of a trade, like mechanic or whatever, something, and then get a job and just try to live off, have my investments for when I retire and stuff. I mean,
Well,
he
remember
started
that
off
lie he
with
had told. He had
started-
told a lie
started
that he
off-
lived off the interest or the principal. He said he never touched the principal.
Oh, that's
Remember?
bullshit. Yeah,
A
that's
year later, they were broke, and I was like, "Well, I thought the guy never touched the principal of the 750. I thought, well, you
Yeah.
can live forever off of it if that's what's going on."
Well, the plan was that they wanted people to think that about them, and then they figured by the time it got to where they didn't have any money, that they would have a lot of people donating to them, or they would have something going on YouTube where they could get paid. That was the plan.
He
So
had
they
claimed
didn't
that
care-
a blue chip stock lost 250,000 in one day. Remember that? Dave?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
how
The
could
only
that?
way
That's
That
not-
would have been all over the news if something like that would have
Yeah, the
happened.
only way that
That
could
would be
happen-
an international recession if an American blue
Exactly.
chalk would go
I
that far.
thought, bullshit.
The only way that could happen is if he had like $10-20 million in it.
Or you hired
Spend
Dylan
them all.
Mulvaney. You could hire Dylan Mulvaney. That would
Because
change.
they
But other
blame
than
it
that,
on COVID, but trust me, I know what took place with COVID because I was in the stock market at the time. I was in penny stock. And the thing was, the Dow Jones
Wait
had
it out.
the limit moves. The blue chip stocks have limit moves. It can only rise and fall a certain amount in a given trading day to
Right.
prevent a stock market panic, because the blue chip stocks and other stocks that are like slightly less valuable,
S&P 500.
if they lost like a crap ton of their value in like one day, it will crush the market.
Yeah, he was
but-
like saying it was dollar for dollar. He was lying. There's no
No.
fucking way.
Well,
No,
which-
the only way you could lose that kind of money is if you did what I did and you were in
Total.
penny stocks.
well,
So
I'm,
if the entire penny stock market crashed and it was worthless, it wouldn't even budge the market.
Extreme high risk stuff you're talking
Right,
about.
right.
Yeah.
There's like- It's like
He's
maybe
talking
1%
general
of
electric.
1% of the market. The penny
David-
stock market is.
obviously, you know what you're talking about. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Serious question. Which tanked faster, the Titanic sub or Bud Light stock?
I didn't even know Bud Light stock. Did it?
I don't
Well,
know.
too soon.
I haven't kept
Sorry,
track of-
sorry,
I
too
haven't
soon.
kept
Sub
track
was
of
like
the stock market.
26 milliseconds. So
I haven't been keeping track of the stock market lately.
How
so-
bad is the
Don't
Bud Light
take him.
stock? I don't look at it. Is
It's
that
bad.
After
I thought
COVID,
that
I
was
pretty
all
much
owned
walked
by.
away.
I thought that was all owned by Anheuser Busch, though. It was all one
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, or were they sold out a long time ago? I don't understand.
They sold out a long time ago. The first year I quit drinking,
I
Anheuser-Busch
think crypto's
sold at
dead as
Boulevard
well.
Coke.
Crypto's not any good anymore. I got out of that. I tripled my money in crypto, and that was all I could get out of it. So.
It looks like crypto affected everything, but I didn't know
Crypto-
that Bud Light was
crypto was-
gone.
Yeah, it was cool at first. I think it was a fad. It was cool at first, then it just went to shit.
And there's a lot of different companies that are trying to do the same thing with a little bit of a different spin to it, but it's still a cryptocurrency. And
Well, the money I made in
kind of
crypto-
now anyway, aren't we?
That's what I used to get my car to get to pay for everything, get it on the road and all that.
Oh yeah.
Have you
They
noticed?
still take crypto, right?
Have you noticed that all the companies that are taking these hits are uniquely American standard points across the globe? You look at Bud Light, you look at all the major things that we have in this country that make America marketing wise, those have all been gone after.
So why is Bud Light tanking?
That is the Tavistock. That is Tavistock.
So what happened with Bud Light? Why is it going down?
Really?
Is it because of that
Todd?
commercial?
I tag in Todd.
Yeah,
Well,
there
I haven't been involved in stocks for a couple of years now.
pretty hard homophobia push since they got a
Yeah, I heard
trans
about that.
activist
Yeah, I heard about
to
that.
advertise for Bud Light, and a bunch
And it actually
of good old
affected the
boys
stock
didn't like
market?
that.
It actually affected their stock price.
It affected the company sales for sure, which is going to tend to affect the sales.
Is it homophobic? Is it homophobic, or is it a direct pushback to this inundation of everything you see? Why is it every time I watch a TV series, there has got to be at least one male kissing another male, one female kissing another male or female before I can get to the goddamn plot?
Really, every time you watch a TV show?
Well, if you watch dramas, adult dramas, you see that all the time.
I don't see it.
Really?
I don't see it in every
Yeah,
show.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
But
Every.
What are you watching?
I see a lot of it, but I don't see it in every show.
I watch New Voyages. I haven't seen any males kissing males in there.
Well, that's because Star
Maybe
Trek,
we'll-
you guys aren't supposed to be around men or women. You guys are all incels.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? As a gay man myself, I'm going to say I don't see a lot of it, and I would
What?
see it. So, yeah, I wouldn't see it. I probably would notice.
Does your wife know you're gay?
Well, wife? Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why
my
that
wife
hug
knows
lasted
that.
extra long when we met.
Who was saying the other day that you were or you were not? I said I thought Todd said he was gay. I could care less. Are you or aren't you? Because I thought you had a wife.
Married to a woman.
No, I'm not.
Why does
married
it
to a
matter?
woman. Do you see it? It's no ring.
Todd, I seen your videos. With
I
a
was
wife.
married to a woman. I've been married to women. I'm not married to women.
Yeah. I was gonna say you were
No,
definitely
no,
married
I
at one
thought you
time.
were
Plural. He
kidding,
married to
Todd.
women. Plural.
Yeah.
I thought you were kidding.
Here's a deep dark secret. You can be gay and still get married.
He's
to
an
a woman.
Indian too, for real. That pissed Vaughn off more than anything.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
It's
And I
possible.
supported him with the
You know,
Indian
it's-
thing.
There's a good reason why I don't know. It's your business.
That's exactly. I don't know. Talk about it much. But I'm just saying, as someone of that persuasion, I would probably notice if I saw a huge
But I just
increase
made
in
the
that on
assumption-
social
I
media.
made the assumption that since I seen
There's
you in videos with a wife, I just assumed you were
There's
straight.
nothing abnormal about it. The animal
No.
kingdom on down, where people get their yay and everything.
Now, Todd, you mentioned you're Native American. Did I hear that correct?
He is. I seen the paperwork.
Okay, I'm not questioning it. Are you on the? I'm going to ask Todd if he's on the rolls. The ROLLS rolls.
I am
Or
on the
is your
rolls,
family
yeah.
on the rolls?
I will do this.
Vaughn was so mad. Remember how pissed Vaughn was about that, Todd? When
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
yeah.
trying to make anybody mad here. I'm going to be
No,
clear.
No,
I'm
you're
trying
not.
to make
It's
anybody
fine.
mad.
I'm happy to talk about it.
And Vaughn says that Indians have big dicks.
Yeah, look,
Well-
and his is you can see his that's old. Vaughn said that. Remember, Vaughn and John said that he went down and
Okay, try.
copied that at the
Okay,
library.
yeah, you're on the
and
rolls.
laminated
You're
it.
on
That
the
was so
rolls.
Got my
ridiculous.
BIA card. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it was old looking, and they were pissed,
It-
man.
This
So
is just a
isn't Vaughn
laminated.
Only about like 3 or 4.
He said it would have a raised seal. How can you tell if that's a raised seal or not?
Yeah,
How can you tell if that's raised or not?
Isn't his great grandfather that's the Indian? I mean,
Oh,
Native American?
there's some Indian on his. Interestingly, on his father's side, he claimed his mother's
It's also on his mother's side.
It's
Yeah,
not
I can't
165%,
find it on
though.
his mother's side. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just can't find it. Definitely found it on his father's side.
Well, because it's on my side, and I'm
through the-
related to his mother.
Through the
How about
channels.
165%,
There's a chief or
Larry?
something. There's some chief or something like
Chief Redbird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chief
Now-
Redbird. Through the
Six
Chandlers, if
generations
I remember
back.
right.
Todd,
Through the Chandlers.
Todd, I'm not Native American, but my family is tied to Native Americans in Oklahoma. As a matter of fact, there's a movie coming out about them here before too long. As a matter of fact, it's a movie that I would love to watch with you if you want to do a watch along. The flowers that's coming out on Applebee on Apple is supposed to be amazing. The book is. You know what I'm talking about, Todd?
Yeah.
I think somebody's hiding in the back.
I was told I was Native American by everybody in my family, but I did the DNA and it's DNA testing. It's
Well, David, if you
it's
don't
India.
Von
Indian from India. It's not Cherokee, like I was told all my life.
Anybody ready to duck out? I've got Wilson in the background. If anybody's leaving
Sure,
soon.
I could go.
Vaughn
Well,
looks very
I
much.
appreciate you coming, Dave.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey,
We'll
Dave.
take
Later,
care,
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Later, David.
Take care, David.
We'll get. I'm sorry,
Vaughn
Wilson
looks
is here.
very much non-Native American, if you ask me. He looks like a drunken Irish guy that lays along the road.
I'm
For
going to
some
say
reason,
that.
Vaughn looks like a drunk, and he doesn't even drink.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing I always say about these things. You can't look at somebody and tell them how much Native American they are.
No.
You can't.
No.
You go to any powwow, you'll see the biggest mixing or melting pot of people you've ever seen in your life. People that look like me. People that look like the old movies in Hollywood. People that
Absolutely.
look
See
real
him with
dark
blonde hair
skin.
and blue eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, blonde hair, blue eye. You'll see everybody there.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
it's a
blows me
diluted
away.
base.
Well, and let's not forget that there are Asiatic chromosomes in the, land bridge. So when you look at Native Americans, matter of fact, when you introduce that section in history,
Yeah.
describe what a Chinese person looks like. Well, they're skinny, they're tall, straight hair, they did, blah, 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 and you name it all up. They basically name a Native American without these slanty eyes.
Yep.
Well,
I
Todd burned him. Todd had the paperwork and
Tall,
everything.
slender, dark hair,
Told
lack
that
of
one,
facial
too.
lack of facial hair.
Vaughn used to claim that one of his go-to sources for, the fact that the Egyptians, they were all Caucasian, was the film Cleopatra.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well they were Greek.
My God, Elizabeth Taylor, you're talking about.
Oh,
Are you talking about that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
when it got brought up to the fact that, okay, so the actor that played Genghis Khan, was he from
Oh
Texas?
boy, yeah, the bald-headed guy.
Yeah.
It was John
Oh.
Wayne.
No.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Comfort Doll has a great point there. The DNA testing thing. The problem with like companies like Ancestry and 23andMe, you have to have a database to compare these genomes to, and there's a very small database of Native folks. So you're never going to see Native American on a DNA test. At best, you're going to see.
Oh yeah, you're
There's another
right.
term for it, but there's no database.
If
Well,
we're
arguably-
talking about DNA,
Arguably
if
the
we're
most
talking about,
famous name. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, if we're talking about DNA tests and Vaughn, according to Vaughn, you can send in a strand of hair or a chip of his teeth
Yeah.
because you just have those lying around.
Yeah.
You can send that into a
Oh yeah, that whole
DNA
bullshit
tasting lab.
story. What a bullshit story, man.
It is a
Yeah.
bullshit story because
I mean, holy fuck.
so
wait,
Solar.
wait. Didn't he also claim that he was going to have to shit in a box?
I remember that.
I think
Yeah. Yes.
I think that was recently, but
Yes.
Solar. Have you seen the picture of that kid?
Which one?
The kid from North Dakota.
No, man. Do you have a copy? I'd like to see. I heard he looks identical to him.
It looks exactly like Vaughn.
He has
Where do
the
we
same.
get to
He has
see
the
this
same.
at?
Just a
dating.
little bit weight on him.
Can you put a link? Can you put a link in the private chat here we got going on?
He even has the same pattern of speech. He has the same
Okay.
pattern of speech.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet
it
he
looks
hates him.
just like Vaughn. I don't have a link because I'm not a fucking weirdo and I don't
Does
copy shit
anybody-
like that.
Well,
I
maybe it's a different guy. Does he have a channel? Because there's a kid with
No.
a channel that says it's
John,
him.
you can hook me up.
So
That's a troll.
Woody, that was a fucking long-standing troll.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh yeah, that guy was not
bitch.
Von's real son.
God
that one
damn you.
kid. that was good though. He fucking
Awesome.
he used to piss Vaughn off. Holy
God
fuck.
damn, I can't believe I fell for that shit. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
the whole Von Helton
He
Jr.
was a good actor, that guy. Holy shit.
God
that was-
damn.
Yeah, that was a great troll.
Yeah,
but-
You do know that I'm gonna have to go ruin some asshole's life over in India or someplace now because of this, right? Just to get off my chest. He'll
let me
deserve
ask
it though.
you something.
Whoever
Is
it is,
there a
he'll
way
deserve
you
it.
could guide me to the real Von Helton Jr.? Can I be guided that way somehow? I'm sorry. Can I? AKA ISW.
I don't know. Is it Brett Von Helton? Isn't that the troll one?
No, it was
I thought it was him.
Yeah, it was
I swear
Von
to
Helton
God, I thought
Jr..
it was him.
Yeah. Well, I remember Brett Von Helton claiming he was the clone
Yeah.
baby.
Oh no, like there's an old fucking Nadia hangout where like they are just talking about random bullshit, and then this person pops in, and like the people on the panel are saying like,
Crazy.
"Oh no, you need to shut up because we're about to see a Von, son,
Meltdown.
father,
The guy had Von
son."
Helton nervous, dude. Like Von was starting to really believe, I think, that this is another kid or something. The junior.
No, it was because he brought up the whole thing about the whole like North Dakota thing.
Yeah.
That's all. And I will have to say that THN, you guys do a great job. You guys are a smart troll group. You guys are smart. You guys are intuitive. You know who the leaders are. You guys know who to follow and take the lead, read the room, and react. And it's great. You guys do a great job. I mean, one of the best. One of the best. You guys do a good job for a bunch of guys sitting around who just go to work every day and pour concrete and come home and fuck Levon. You guys do a pretty good job.
I mean, apparently you have not been in THN Discord
I
lately
was gonna
because
say, man.
it is.
Been around for a while, have you?
It's like Mos
That's
Eisley.
turned into a shit show.
Well, I bowed out of troll groups because you guys always eat your own. You always eat your own.
Actually, fair point.
And so it's better for me not to be
There's place
involved.
to be.
I would like to. There's some people in there I would like to talk to. I like to get to know Todd. I like to take Dave out
Dangerous
to dinner.
place.
Those are it. But you know what? The bullshit that goes with it isn't worth the periphery. Is not worth the effort.
I haven't been
So-
there. I'm not allowed in there, or I quit or something. THN, I thought it shut down.
It
It
did.
shut down, and I got that
Yeah.
message just saying that you were you joined a group that it contributes hate speech and all that other shit.
Yeah,
Is that
thanks,
what it
J-Dubs.
Yeah. Try being a mod and getting that message. It was
Well,
Oh my
a little
I
strongly
would-
worded.
I would join that group, but I don't end up in a random fucking room because I have those discords where I isolate people and keep them separate. If you guys knew the zoo that I had at one time, you guys would shit your pants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Try the MeWe site. It's a little,
I've been on the
milder.
MeWe site. I've been on the MeWe site. I was on
I
there.
thought that was the
several
same
times.
thing. I'm confused.
So
I
what do
used
you
to
need
go
to
back and forth.
What do you need to realize that I was part of Music Biz Marty's Discord, and holy shit,
Oh, well.
that Discord was a fucking dumpster fire.
Who
waiting
would you
to get
say, Marty?
The guy
Music
that
Biz Marty.
yeah, the
The
guy that beat up Cyrex.
You know what, dude? I watched a video of him. He's a big fucking dude, man.
He's like 6'5" and like
He's no
300
bigger than-
fucking
Here's the
pounds.
video of the guy. He's fucking huge. I'm
He's
like,
not
yeah.
bigger than us.
fuck?
Yeah, he's not bigger than you and I. I mean, he's
Bullshit.
taller than I am, but he's not
This
bigger
is a
than me.
big monstrous guy. Look right here. He is in the video in the private chat. You tell me he's not a huge dude.
I put my
Like a
money on
big
Todd. I
tower
put my
is
money
the
on Larry
motherfucker.
right now. $50 says Larry takes him. Larry right now.
Shit,
Larry. Takes
Larry's
him.
way
$50.
smaller than this guy.
I think
This
Larry
guy's
has
like
more
6'5",
sense to show up to
6'6".
it. To show up to some random Airbnb in fucking
I need
Ohio.
you to help here. I need you to
His
be quiet and
wife
help here,
going through
sir.
a divorce. He's huge.
Well,
Well,
He
compared
is
to
pretty good
Cyrax especially.
Well, Larry's not scared to meet nobody.
There he is.
I'll just make
Well,
sure
we
I
didn't
take
mean to
some
put you
dope
into
with
it,
me,
Larry.
and
I'm
everything will
working-
be good.
This guy's
You know,
6'5",
But-
I think.
you know, the beautiful
That's-
thing about being 6'5", his kneecaps are only still about 2 foot off the ground.
I don't know. It looked like they said his head. I mean, if you look at his head, it looks like it was at the top of the fucking doorway. He's a big dude. Keep watching that video once.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
A lot of fucking weight, man. I mean, they grab a whole little Cyrax and smash them fucking 3 checkerboard.
Everybody's big to Cyrax. He's a 5 foot tall. He's about 5 foot tall.
He beat on somebody with a bat the other night. They were out in front of his house. I guess he called these guys out, and they went there, and he fucking tried to beat him with a bat.
Oh, we got the phone call of his grandmother calling the cops that got him arrested.
Oh, his grandmother's the one that. Hey, play that video. Go back to that video.
You have body cam.
He's a big guy. We got it. He's big.
Have you got body cam yet?
Not yet.
Shouldn't be able to. It's an active case, but Ohio is totally different.
Yeah, Cyrax has like active cases right now.
An open case right now. They're not gonna give that to the public.
He lives in Section 8. He lives in Section 8. You can't evict him.
Well, I thought he lived with his mom or his grandmother.
They live in Section 8.
Yeah, that house maybe.
They live in Section 8. Yeah. Trust me.
He's really mentally off, man.
I'll tell you what. They can be evicted
out
of
Section really 8.
I will buy that house right now for what it's for what's owed on taxes. If there's no money owed on taxes because it's owned by a landlord, but the assessment on that house is about $500.
It's not.
What do you want the house for? I don't understand it.
For that house,
why do you want it? I don't get it. Do you want to throw him out?
Every morning, I will go get $10,000 and buy that house from that landlord. They can't
do it. They can't
evict him because of Section 8. I've already tried.
Why?
To get him evicted? Because I was bored. He's a child molester.
I didn't know that.
Predator.
You mean to tell me he's a convicted child molester?
He's not convicted.
Cyrax says.
According to Cyrax, he's not a pedophile because he's never been convicted. He's never been charged with it. Therefore, he's free and clear.
Let me ask you something. Looking at that guy, do you think there's some kind of genetic fucking problem with him?
Yes.
I mean, he's definitely an inbred or something, guys. I mean, he is the product of a mom and a dad. I mean, a dad, a brother and sister fucking or something. There's something really off.
His dad went to prison.
Third generation inbred.
His dad went to prison for being a pedophile. He's a third generation fuck.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's
There's
totally deformed.
An island.
He's deformed.
He's not third generation inbred. He is the third generation of
He's
predators.
Fucked up, guys, big time. There's a lot wrong with that guy.
Well, when you let the internet raise your children, that's what happens. We have a whole generation of fucks like him.
I mean, honestly, he looks like Amish do. It looks like, if you go over to Lancaster County and shit, you'll see some weird looking people over there that are Amish and shit like that. But he looks like someone that would fuck sheep and cows and all that shit. That would not.
Stoller, you wouldn't say that if you saw his chainmail. You wouldn't see that. You would not say that if you saw his chainmail. He'd own you.
What's a chainmail? What are you talking about? A chainmail?
Chainmail, bitch. 2 words. Chainmail.
Chainmail, bitch. What are you talking about? When did you turn gangster, Woody? What the fuck happened to you tonight?
That was my attempt. That was my attempt.
I can explain the chainmail. Like Solar, you know who Scott Steiner is?
Oh yeah, the wrestler, Big Papa Pump. Rick and Scott Steiner, brother.
He used to have like the head cowl made out of chainmail.
Yep. Oh yeah, I know what that is. Over his head there. He put it over his head.
Yeah, and Cyrax made a video on Facebook saying that, Operation Ghostwire is now in effect because he's trying to act serious.
What the fuck? Okay.
But he has this head cowl of chainmail.
Oh yeah, that stuff there, man. A shark can bite you and it won't totally penetrate. It won't penetrate because of the way that's put together. Correct? Yeah, I know what chainmail is, depending on how fine it is. So, what is Cyrax doing? He's trying to reinvent himself for what? Get a job?
No, he went to jail on Monday morning, and within a day he released a video.
Okay.
Sorry, the idea of Cyrax getting a job.
Yeah, Cyrax does not need to be on the internet.
Well, if he's a pedophile, I don't think he's supposed to be allowed on certain.
It's not the fact that I think that he's a pedophile, but he is an absolute fucking predator.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's been convicted, right? So
no,
that's the problem. That's the problem. He hasn't.
Has he been charged?
He has absolutely been
he
caught
choked his-
red-handed,
He
but he's
choked
never
his
been charged.
grandmother, the only mother he's ever known that's actually give a shit about him. He choked her out and went to jail. How about that? Let's forget
He
about
choked
elder
her
abuse. Can we
out.
start there?
He choked her out. Wow.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago, and in a great spectacle of self-awareness, way to celebrate your anniversary of the fact that you strangled your grandmother, who you call mom.
Yeah, that's awful, guys. You know. Well, they take care of him for some reason or another. Something's fucked
Because
up.
they get a paycheck, Section 8.
Okay, I get that.
Always
Woody.
follow the money. Always
I
follow
get
the money.
that, Woody, but I'm trying to tell you the guy's retarded. There's something wrong with it.
More money.
Yeah, and
More money.
it's not Section 8. It's for the fact that Sally gets SSI.
He gets SSI for him, but they're living in Section 8 housing
Yeah,
to go along with that. They because Ed brings nothing to the table. He's on SSI.
Is that
She's
the guy
on
that's
SSI.
really drunk?
She got a
in
little bit of
fucking
money, but that's
videos and
surely
shit?
going to be gone.
Ed is the one that's always perked out.
Well, he's
Okay,
died
when I
twice,
saw
hasn't
that
he?
video the other night, he came running up to the curb at the end and shit. And there's a guy yelling at him.
Yeah, that was
watching,
Ed.
Secular Opinions thing. Okay, that's Ed. Okay, he's married to Grandma, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
No, he's a boyfriend.
They're not married.
You can't marry her because it'll fuck up Section 8 housing and all that shit
Well,
going on.
all right,
All
Woody,
this shady
I'm just
stuff.
saying, is that he act like a father figure to Cyrix?
That's a fucking rabbit hole because according to Cyrex, he's had like 19 fucking dads.
Yeah, because there's so many guys that have come and gone, and they've all left because of him, and the fucking grandmother despises him for it. Correct? Yes.
When did his mom kill herself accidentally?
That right through the fucking wall.
I want to say like 2015, maybe.
Was she ever part of the online universe?
No.
Is there an arc with mom that I'm not missing?
No, like yeah, like his biological mother. She was never part of like his life because she was a little bit mentally deficient.
Okay. Like some head disability.
Wrong with all them.
And there was a reason why Sally had to adopt her or adopt Cyrax because she was kind of regarded. I mean, she died in a house fire because she did not know how to cook cup noodles.
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Tragic.
It's the same way that his father went to jail because, he decided to snatch some young girl off a bike path and,
Cyrax's dad's doing jail time?
Nah, but we don't need it.
Yeah, like Cyrax's biological father went to prison for raping a child.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of real, there's a lot of real fucked up stuff.
And also left her for dead. Also left her for dead.
Does he look? Who does he look like? I got to see this person that he looks like because man, that's a unique look. The skinny shoulders and that head, and he's just that fucking hairline's terrible.
Well, we found his dad. We found his dad online. His dad was doing some shit with trying to sell stuff on Etsy, but he was only selling pictures. All the pictures of clothes he had to sell were kids.
It was Pinterest. It was Pinterest.
Mm-hmm. That's not what I said. I meant to say Pinterest. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and Marty was able to get Cyrax's dad on a panel.
No. Oh, really?
You've never seen that?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to find that and send me that on Discord.
Oh, Christ alive!
We had the 300, the 300 going after his dad, and that was awesome. That's great. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. So what did his dad say? Did he admit to it?
Oh, he's never admitted to being part of Cyrax's life, but during the course of that interview, his dad admitted that, yeah, that's my Pinterest.
Right.
It's his what?
That's as far as we got. We got to the Pinterest and we got him, but we couldn't get to him. He was in Alaska last I heard.
Oh, he's still in Alaska.
Wow. Wow.
And Alaska's got some fucked up laws, by the way. Alaska's got some really archaic laws that are even behind what we have here in the continental United States. Just so you guys know. That they don't pass anything until they absolutely have to. So there's a lot of broad interpretation
Well, there's a lot of really
laws of
fucked up
statutes.
stuff that goes on up there, man, in them communities. They have the highest teen suicide rate in the United States. 1 out of every 7 or something like that. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that 1 out of 7 they don't count, or that they don't count all the Native Americans that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
that
Mainly
disappear.
Native Americans.
The Native Americans that
death.
disappear in Canada is unbelievable. The amount of women that disappear that are Native Americans that aren't even looked for.
Oh yeah,
It's
there's movies
disgusting.
about it.
Disgusting.
Because it's basically Canada.
Well, and
Well, I
same
know
thing
Salvation
happens in
Army can
Alaska,
kick Canada's ass. That's my
Alaska, there's a
point.
lot of deaths. A lot of people disappear, and it's just that's the way it is up there. 1 out of every 10 adults disappear in Alaska without a. I don't know if it's without a trace, but they disappear. You know that?
Mhm.
Well, when you have to go get mail 20 miles away, that's what happens.
No, it's 9 months out of the year. There's so many months out of the year it's pitch black, depending on where you're at. And then it's they call it what do they call the winter? It's crazy, but you get fucked up in the head up there, man. And there's not anything to do really. I mean, when it's so fucking cold out, you go seal hunting, shit like that. But
Go past
you
your
know,
seal.
it's crazy what you do. You gotta survive. You gotta live.
It's the Oakland Raiders of U.S. states.
They have
Yeah,
a
it's like
hard
every
life.
day is like fucking The Shining.
You're exactly right. Yeah, and the depression rate, you know, it's insane. I watched this a big show about it. It just shows you it's crazy life. It's not for the weak, that's for sure. And people sometimes kill themselves and think it's a sacrifice to help their family out because they feel like a big burden. The alcoholism rate's incredible. Drugs, they love any kind of drugs they can hit their hands on. You know, I mean, yeah.
Jeez.
It's crazy up there. Alaska's just not a fucking place you want to grow up at. That's for sure, unless your parents are wealthy.
Hey,
Todd,
Wilson.
oddly enough,
Hey, Wilson,
Todd,
real quick. I've got $500 that says Crazy Lokes can beat Cyrax. You
And who
in?
can beat him?
You want to
No.
see the action?
No.
No.
We won't take that back.
no. I would not take that bet because Crazy Lokes is crazy enough to actually like hit the dude.
Crazy Loke is the unknown American gem.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Don't quit.
Why does
Just
Cyrax
keep
also think
pushing.
he can fight and shit, man? What's wrong with him?
Because
Crazy
like
Loke rocks.
okay, so Cyrax is like confined
Listen.
into his own house.
Listen to Woody. Yeah.
It'll be a great fight.
Crazy Lokes is like he's just out there on the streets.
In the stores. In
How
the
many
shop.
times has he got his ass kicked? His nose looks like it's sideways. Every time I see him, it looks like it's been put sideways again.
Who, Cyrax is?
No.
No, Crazy
Not
Crazy
Cyrax,
Loke.
Crazy Loke.
Who
Crazy
the hell
Loke.
is Crazy Lokes? Is that a new guy? that's
He's
on
like
these
Carmen
shows?
Electra. Luke
Oh.
Perry, baby. You don't know him?
Never
Can't
seen
stop,
Crazy Lokes.
won't stop. Just
Can't
keep
stop, won't
Oh,
stop.
that guy.
For the love.
Yeah.
for the
Love
fans. For the
win.
Talking about them things. Talking
What
about them things. Yeah.
things?
Who the hell
Like
is
real
Washington.
stuff.
He's always at a
Washington-
store doing it. He has a
Yeah.
ponytail. He does karate. Yeah, I don't
Five
know.
hundred.
If you're gonna
500
call that
against Cyrax.
karate, then
Karate.
Well,
fuck
you
me
type
running
in
like
on you type in on YouTube to find him Crazy Lokes.
He
Yeah,
looks like
like-
Jesus. Looks like Luke Perry. Carmen Electra. I got
Yeah.
$500 on. I got like $500
His
on
raps are pretty
Luke.
funny, man, or whatever you call him, Crazy Lokes. I never had a clue that's who he was.
no.
Who would win?
If,
Who would win
No,
in a
it-
cage match?
Oh,
Von
it's
Helton or
so
Crazy
funny,
Loke?
dude. The first thing you type in, wow, 310,000 from just 8 years ago. There's tons of people watching him.
oh yeah, like he is.
Holy fuck, man. He's like a phenom. Ain't he in LA?
I have no idea where he
No idea
lives.
where
I
he
don't
lives.
care.
Oh, who knows?
He is
What a
an
nutcase.
absolute legend. Like his idea of like shadow boxing is to
He
basically
is.
like hug his face.
I love
For
But
real
then,
stuff.
like,
For real, though.
For
real
real,
stuff.
though.
For
Pushing
real,
with
though.
the things.
With them
But then,
things,
like,
you know,
when he gets
beaten
into
up
an
a lot.
altercation
For the
with someone off the
fans.
streets,
for the ladies.
and all of a
His
sudden
nose has been devastated.
he gets his fucking wig split because someone didn't want to. They fucked around and found out, and
Mhm.
What did
Crazy
he beat him
Lokes.
up? Crazy Lokes.
no.
So,
I'll
Crazy
just say
Lokes.
his nose is totally crushed. And on his
I
tail.
don't know if that's from fighting. I think that might just
It sure
be a birth
looks like it,
defect.
bro. No, it looks like he's been.
No,
beaten
that's
up.
MASH.
That's the
that's
upper
MASH.
bridge. You can see a big scar on it, and it's crushed, man, between his eyes. Holy fuck!
But yeah,
That's
long
a
story
downward
short, like,
fist.
yeah,
I have a question for the THN community at large. A group that I've obviously been loosely associated with over the year for a year or so. How come you guys don't go after Daniel Larson? He's a predator. Daniel Larson has repeatedly gone after young women, young girls, and
it's
yet he gets a pass.
it's the same reason that THN never went after Chris Chan, is because
Chris Chan's different.
it's
I mean, the argument I would have against, listen, he's not a good guy, but you have to honestly believe that his life has been completely destroyed by trolls and his deficient family parenting. His life has been absolutely upended.
Yeah.
Not saying anything he does right. I'm not giving him a blank pass, but Chris Chan, if you follow Chris Chan, you do Geno Samuel stuff, you can watch the breakdown, the mental health of him per episode to where we're at right now. They will study Chris Chan in psychology classes for 100 years. Mark my words.
I would say that we at THN, we are above covering Daniel Larson. We are above covering Chris Chan, because we're not. What's her fucking name? Isabel Janke.
Right.
Because that bitch should be in a goddamn prison cell.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Daniel Larson is more or less. He's going to be a sob story, because eventually we're going to hear about the tales of Daniel Larson being found alongside of a goddamn road.
Right.
To be fair,
For sure.
THN is secular's community, and it's gonna go with what secular covers for the most part. People bring up other new locales every now and then, but it doesn't really get traction very often. We tend to stick with the same 5, 6, 7 people for a long time.
You guys do for a very, very long time.
Yeah. It's just kind of the way that community is.
infighting. Which leads to infighting. That's what happens.
That's true.
So, what is going on with? And since I'm not in the community, I have to get my information secondhand. What is with this woman, Alexandra Myers?
Oh my!
This is a woman
child.
that came across my deal. And for the record, I have a degree in urban education to work in the inner city. I'm a guy that spends his time there, and I put a message. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" She called me a white supremacist racist and part of some type of insane clown posse community or some bullshit, and blocked me.
Yeah,
I'm like, you psycho bitch.
Alexandra tries to put herself in any community that she has.
Yeah.
But the one thing that you do not mention is the fact that she got kicked out of pornography because during one of her videos, she had a discharge.
Well,
Oh my god!
if you want to deep dive into Alexandra, you're going to have to go to Miss Parker and BGTV to some degree in the fact that she got with Nuka Zeus. That was a story. That was interesting for a month or two.
Now, I was told that she was part of that HIV name drop that happened out of San Fernando Valley back in 1990. I happened to be actually working around that business at the time, and there was a porn star by the name of, she was French. Fuck, Barbara Dare. I can't remember what. But she had been lying about her HIV test. And she infected numerous people. And when that blew up, then all the paperwork was released. And all
that
those
wasn't
people.
her. Yeah, that wasn't her.
Okay, good.
She was the one that did like the Cosby parody of like porn. And then when that parody, got released, after she got done doing her scene, there were things like leaking out of her because she actively had an STD.
Oh, dear God. Not to mention the fact that she's doing a parody of a children's program that actually painted black families in a great light. Let's not forget that, by the way. Unbelievable.
Okay, real quick, sorry. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here. Todd, you know how bad they are this year.
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna go ahead and go back inside. I got to be up at 5:30 in the morning, so I'll be back in the chat.
Good to see you. Hey, have a good one. Take it easy. Yeah, for those of you wondering, you can Google the Dirty Cosby Show for more details on the leakage. Wow. The Dirty Cosby Show.
I mean, it looks like you're just trying to wring out the last bit of toothpaste.
It's
oh
bad.
My God. I've never heard this.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, I know she's a psychopath. I mean, obviously she's a psychopath by the way she goes after people. Thank God she does not have any marketable troll skills, because she could really do some damage the way she infatuates and puts in her sights one person.
I'm telling you, you got to look into that. You got to deep dive the Nuka Zeus saga, because that was something.
That was really weird. That was really weird.
Just, are you familiar with Nuka Zeus, Woody?
I don't know who that is. No.
He's a redhead, ginger white guy that paints himself, tans himself, and thinks that he's black.
Oh,
yeah, one of those.
Hey, 2023, baby. Why not? You're black. I'm black. We're all black. We're all men, women
on the inside and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
Nuka Zeus is like actively taking medication to like make his melatonin darker.
Yeah.
While at the same time, it's giving him cancer.
Yeah, I started saying melatonin is what kills you from skin cancer. I mean, that's what you get, right? Melanoma is the word for the malignant cancer. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, Nuka Zeus is an absolute like wackadoo.
Now, is he a wrongin' or is he just a weirdo?
No, it just seems to be a weirdo.
Okay, well, generally speaking, weirdos can be okay, I guess. I mean, everyone's entitled to be a weirdo. There's no big problem with that, but weirdos that hurt kids. That's a problem.
Melanotan is actually the chemical that you take. Melanotan.
Melanotan?
Melanotan is the drug.
Is the drug, okay.
That darkens your skin, yeah. Something else, isn't it? We learned all about that on Ms. Parker's channel. Guys, like 2 years ago. It's been a minute.
You know, I remember
being on Mrs. Parker's channel. This is going back to the day. I was on Mrs. Parker's channel with Dragnot and Vaughn when he was trying to get money to bury his mom. Now, I'm not trying to open that deal, but that was my first crossover into bringing. And if you guys were to go back and watch that whole video, I drug Rick Barry into that video earlier for the THN guys, because I told one of the THN guys in private group that if they would not run him out of our Discord, I'd make sure that I give him access to Barry on a panel. Was that you, Wilson?
No, I don't know if Rick Barry was ever part of THN Discord.
No. He wasn't part of THN. He called into Mrs. Parker's panel with Vaughn on there. Following up on a conversation I had with THN members in that Discord.
Oh, okay. So I know what you're talking about. It was when Vaughn first announced that his mom died.
Right.
And then, Megan Hiltz
Yep.
popped up in Vaughn's fucking Twitch account back when that was a thing. and then all of a sudden, there's Rick.
I fed Rick to you guys so you guys would leave him alone in our Discord. And you guys kicked him out real quick, which you guys should. You guys obviously have shithead. You guys kicked him out real quick to focus on Vaughn's mother passing away, which I did not know at the time. And that's when he wanted $7,000 or something to bury his mom. That was already.
Oh yeah, he was
right
trying.
There. Larry knows.
Yeah, like
I
Vaughn
paid
was
it.
trying. Yeah, Larry paid it. Vaughn was actively trying to con people for $7,000 because that's what the Vaughn do.
Yeah, remember, Larry, weren't you involved in that or something? Larry had called on the phone and said it's already paid or something, right?
Yes, it was already paid. I kept yelling, it's paid, don't do nothing.
Yeah. In Ohio or something, yeah, and he was trying to get money.
No, I paid it here in Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
No, that's the one time Dragnaut and I have actually crossed paths. Was the fact, if you watch that video, I actually compliment him repeatedly on asking, because he volunteered to help step up and actually help navigate the burying somebody, which if you've never done is not an easy thing to do.
I mean, it's
that
not
was
like
my responsibility.
It's not like the Frost family cemetery exists on Crane Creek Road, because that's not.
It does.
Yeah. We know.
It does. It's only about 75 feet from where she was buried.
Larry, is that the one where he claims it's haunted with soldiers and stuff, or is that the one down the road?
Well, not that I know of, it ain't haunted.
He says there's a cemetery that's got that you can see ghosts walking all over the place and stuff.
Solar, you know as well as I do that he has yet to actually visit his mom's grave.
I know. He claims that there's a dog buried there, and Larry said that's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
Dog there, and the stuff that guy comes up with, it just sounds like excuses, I just can't.
I put an offer. I'll give him $500. He goes out there and digs up a dog laying next to his mother.
Well, and he never even went to the funeral. I mean, or the thing at the cemetery was just, he never went to that. It's just very bizarre.
Well, like even even today, I will bet you a paycheck. He has still to this day visited his mother's grave because
he ain't.
Yeah, it's too far of a walk for him. He ain't going
he
up
does
there.
not give a shit.
He don't. He just wants.
He don't have to walk. He can drive up there.
Really?
Okay,
It's
so
got a
Larry,
driveway. It takes you right to the graveyard.
Yeah, I mean,
Larry, I'm sorry, but yeah,
you're right. You're right, Wilson. I'm not arguing with you about it, man. He never seemed to care. It just
when we saw the Twitch conversation that Vaughn did, where he made like the what if scenario.
Okay.
Where he explained how his life would be exponentially better if his dad lived and his mom died.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's doing hypotheticals. When did he do? Did he just do that recently, or?
Oh no! Like this is a while ago. Like
okay,
this was on Twitch. So the only place you're going to see it is on Secular's opinion channel.
Oh, that's right. The trolls had Twitch removed. I remember, and he lost all that money. Oh my God!
Can I ask you a question real quick? So if, and I apologize if I interrupt your flow of thought. So at the time of Vaughn's father's passing, was he living with his mother at the trailer? Because there's like this gray area where I don't understand how his dad, but not his mom. But then his dad was it, and his mom. Can you clarify that for me?
I want to say
we're not living together.
Yeah, I want to say that his dad died in 2009.
I was thinking 7, but you may be right.
No, I think it's more like 207.
I think it was 7.
Okay.
Larry, were you there when his dad passed? Or?
No, he was.
I could check,
but I did help pack his house up after he died.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you hadn't even been there yet, then Vaughn, how's that work? I don't know.
Oh, 6 says fast. Now I'm going to check.
Yeah,
Now I'm going to look
yeah.
at my Von Helton page.
Von Hilton's mom and dad were still having sex, even though they were divorced. They got divorced because of medical purposes only.
March
I
17th,
threw up
2006.
insurance.
Now,
Yeah.
wait a second.
Frank
Wait a
is right.
second. Now,
Frank
I
is right.
understand, and I speak fluent hillbilly, Larry. So, and I don't mean any disrespect by that. What I'm saying is I speak the language. So when you say that for insurance reasons, they got a divorce, that's important because if she is worth $6 million or whatever number it is, you don't get a divorce then. Does that make sense? I know people that do that. I know people that do this. I know people within, I could throw a baseball and hit them from where I live. And they get divorces. Why? Because they're playing the system.
Well, that's what happened.
They're beating the system.
I don't know any, and I know millionaires. I'm not one of them, but I know millionaires, and they're not getting divorces to get tax breaks on their insurance. They don't do that.
No, it was medical purposes, to be honest.
Yeah.
They both did.
They were charging Mr. Hilton something like about $100 and something thousand every time he went to see doctors and his test and all this stuff that he had wrong with him. And they were trying, instead of his insurance covering it, they were making Alice pay half of it.
So they were defrauding the system.
She divorced him to fucking keep from paying the going broke.
To keep the cash. And then she went and bought that house for him.
That's fucking fraud.
They were defrauding the system.
They absolutely were.
Multi-millionaires don't defraud the system. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
That Bill Gates isn't having his entire team of lawyers trying to cut a couple of corners for his wife's insurance.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
So what you're saying is, Woody, is she wasn't a multimillionaire.
I know that, Todd.
Just wanted to clarify for everyone.
I know that, Todd. What I'm saying is I'm painting a picture for other people.
Yeah, right. I'm just clarifying for the audience here.
Yeah.
So what
Thank you for helping clarify. Sorry, I haven't been in the classroom for a while.
What do you know the whole story about Von's name, right?
No. This is all before me.
Okay, so Von was originally named Irvin Eugene Hilton Jr. His dad gave him his own name. While his dad was still alive, he legally had his name changed.
Oh.
To James Paul Hilton.
I thought he had the Vaughn legally put in there.
I think that was after he had his.
Because he did another one after.
Yeah.
One where that.
But why would you? Okay, never mind. Why would he change his father's name if you have a proud German heritage? Where you Von means you own the name that comes after it. So I mean, he's Von, Clay County, Kentucky. But why would anyone drop that shit? It wasn't because when his family came over, it wasn't World War One. World War One is the thing that made everybody drop the Vons and all that shit and start changing their names.
There's no Vaughn in his history. I've traced his history back to the 1700s. Yeah. There ain't no Vaughn in there. They're Helton, and they were in Indiana.
Vaughn is a title of
And they came from England.
Baron von Munchausen would be an example that we see all the time with people with like Shani running her kids out to get tips and saying they're crazy or they have problems. That's Baron von Munchausen. That's Munchausen syndrome. Yeah. Few kids at home keeping score.
Well, I think it's Munchausen syndrome, not Munchausen syndrome.
And be honest, I may have smoked a little weed, so gotcha.
But you look at someone like the guy that tried to organize the assassination of Hitler.
Right.
Yeah. The Von is a mark of aristocracy.
Yes. Well, the Von name, doesn't that go back to Amsterdam and the Dutch and all that? In that family, and that the Vons that come out of that area?
No, Yeah, in Vaughn's head, like it just comes from the fact that he's of somewhat German heritage, so he's just automatically a Vaughn. No, it's because he was modding some fucking video game way back when, where he was LARPing as the Red Baron.
He's as Anglo-Saxon as a fucking cum.
Yeah.
German.
What was it?
English, British.
No, like the actual Red Baron. I want to say it's like Baron von Richthofen.
It's Richthofen.
Yeah.
Richthofen.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's Richthofen. Richt. Richthofen. I'm sorry, my little late night for me to try to spell things with German, but yeah.
Yeah.
Richthofen. 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 Manfred Richthofen. This is
Manfred Richthofen. Right.
Am I right, Todd? Look me up. Help me out.
I don't know. I don't know the Red Baron.
I thought you were searching me, Googling me.
No, I'm just sitting there chatting. Richthofen. I like it though. Anytime they've got the word right in their name, correct. Richthofen. It's a good German name.
Well, he was also a complete gentleman. He was a gentleman in the air. He held gentleman idealistic standards of fighting, which separates him. I'm not justifying Nazis, or I'm be very clear, I'm not justifying anything they did, which is World War I, by the way, not World War II. But even then, he was all about chivalry. All about chivalry.
Yeah.
And he looked at horses and camels being just a modern upgrade. And he looked at a duel in the air as you would see a duel on in a tournament jousting round, if you would.
So let's make it known that Woody is not apologizing for the Third Reich, which J-Dubs and Vaughn have made numerous arguments about.
No, I will never justify Third Reich.
Say what you will about Hitler, but he did a lot of good things for Germany.
Hey, there we go.
The only thing, well, the exception of Operation Paperclip, which we will say for another time, is I would like to say thank you for the interstate system we have, because the interstates are because of Hitler. So when you drive your kids to the mall on the weekend, and you're not taking curvy roads, thank Adolf Hitler. And if you see a Volkswagen, give a double tap for the old for the Chancellery.
Thanks, Hitler.
There's a reason why we don't have like the interstate system the same way that Germany does, because
Larry, are you leaving?
No, I wanted to say something to Larry. I wanted to ask Larry a question, but go ahead. He's real talk.
I was going to say, like, the Autobahn. Yeah, Germany is kind of strict on how they know to make people drive. Yeah, we can't do that here because people are fucking idiots.
Larry, I wanted you to, did you explain to anybody how bad the properties in the shape the properties in that you used to live in, that it's filled with snakes? And he said that rats are tearing the walls apart, Todd, in the freaking place. Vaughn is not going to be able to, his backup plan would be to sell these properties. Who's going to buy a place? Larry said the trailer needs removed and another trailer put in its place. That's a job, man. You just buy land and do your own thing up. You don't, it really sounds like that property's shot, man.
The land is a wash because, first of all due respect, Larry, unless you have trailers, do not improve property value. Okay, having a trailer that you live in, even if you have the nicest solid gold-plated trailer in Kentucky,
like Alice's,
does not help your property values because it is a movable trailer. So, if I were to write a check right now, for all the property that he owns, not including the houses, because the houses aren't worth anything. The houses that if I were to buy those properties, the first thing I would say to anybody trying to sell those to me would be, get those houses off there. If I have to do it, you're going to have to pay me. Either come off the price or pay me cash.
but I'm not touching your, and no one else will either. Not anybody with any sense. So
You
what
mean to
right
tell me
now,
her
if I were to
double
write a
wide does
check
not help
for
that
all the property, what would it be?
To me, about 80,000.
Huh. Come on,
$80,000 in Kentucky. How many acres? I live in pristine. If David was
She's
on
got
here,
about
he would know. I live in pristine
250
Missouri River
acres
Valley
total.
farming, and your money's not worth that much.
She
You
has a
can't
nice
grow a fucking
double.
turnip
Her
in those
double
hills.
wide is nice on there. It's got a well. She's got natural gas running to it for free. I disagree. I think that the double wide she has, not Vaughn's. Vaughn's trailer, you hook a fucking thing up to it and get it out of there, or you recycle the aluminum, whatever you can do. You get Vaughn's trailer going. I agree with that one.
Todd, explain
But
to
double
Solar how
wide-
having a trailer works.
Yeah. Well,
The
like you
double
said,
wide.
it's movable. And that's the
Yeah, but it's
you don't
not
get
as
to count a
movable as
house
you
that you
guys
can sell to
think.
somebody and then
It's
come pick
built
it
on a
up.
foundation, guys. Or his mother.
But Marshall, you got to remember, Vaughn Hilton lives in it now.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
I
actually a
know
really
that,
good
but hang
point.
on a minute. Before he got a hold of it, that place was pretty fucking nice, man.
It
Is it
was
connected to
nice
sewer?
before he moved in.
And
Is it connected to sewer?
the foundation is cement, correct? She has a foundation underneath that.
That
place.
doesn't matter.
No,
That doesn't matter.
no.
Wouldn't
Having a
think so, anyway.
concrete slab does not matter. What I would do, if he wants to sell it for $80,000 right now, Vaughn, help me.
80 grand he's down
If
to.
I will give you $50,000 if you can show me all the land you have. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll fucking slab them out, and I'll slumlord the fuck out of Kentucky with trailers.
Well, that's the problem. Someone would already have done that.
You better
Well,
bring a bulldozer
better
to
me
cut
than
some
them.
of the hills down.
Solar, are you
Yeah.
going to tell me that he's down to his last 80 grand?
Well, I'm
No,
trying
he's
to
down
think
to
of
his last dollar.
what I'm trying to think of, I'm sorry, is this fact. What can he sell that he could get rid of quickly to have some money generated? It looks to
The
me
property.
Yeah.
The
land.
lawnmower.
The
like
land.
Nobody is going to give him money because they know he needs money. Why would you
Okay.
give money to somebody who needs money?
There's
You
somebody
pull
out
back.
there looking
You
for a
pull
home
back
cheap.
and make them come after it. And by
That
pulling back
home-
and making them come after it, you dictate the price.
His mother's home's pretty nice, but then again, I wouldn't want a cemetery though out. How close is the cemetery to the house too? I think that devalues it.
It's nothing.
Block and a half.
Means nothing.
Yeah.
A
Up
cemetery
on
is
the
real
hill.
property valuation.
Backyard is the fucking cemetery. I mean, I wouldn't want that at all.
That
So-
that hurts your property valuation.
Sure.
Cemeteries
No,
are
in
a whole
Kentucky,
ground-
almost
whole
every
ground
house
condominium.
has a graveyard behind it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of land behind the Daniel Boone Forest there in them houses. So
Okay, so
Okay, but-
Solar, you need to realize that Vaughn is claiming that his net worth is fucking like $70 million.
God, yeah, I know.
He told that to fucking Billy on the Geek Room. Say what
Yeah.
you will about the Geek Room, but when he claims that his net worth is $70 million, he has access to none of that because Vaughn is fucking stupid. He
Yeah.
does not know the worth of a dollar.
Well, put it this way: the property that
I
Larry
took
lived
all
in,
that
and
money.
the one connected to it, Vaughn can't get nothing for them because neither one of them are even rentable right now at this point because
Right. Liability.
animals, they're snakes and shit, and they've been overtaken by mice and rats. Larry says rats, like he's not saying mice. He's saying
Rat.
they've eaten holes in the walls. He said it's fucking horrifying. So he doesn't have like fucking shit to sell at this point. Larry said you got to knock the trailer down, bring another one in. Well, fuck, he don't got money for something like that.
Well, Vaughn all of a sudden is caught up in a conundrum to where he's the owner of the property,
That
and
you,
now Go ahead,
he's
Larry.
Fucked. He's got to pay the taxes on everything. He's got to get them rentable if he even can. They're condemned, I think, at this point, right, Larry? They're pretty much they'll be condemned.
I heard Otis is working on them.
Yeah, Otis
Who
is
is
a guy
Otis?
that drinks. He's a drunk.
Otis is the city drunk.
yeah, my kind of
I
guy.
call him
Now, wait-
Otis
now, wait
because
a
he's
second.
our city drunk.
I talked to Vaughn, and I had a serious conversation with Vaughn. about the fact that if you have extra land, like I have a little bit extra land out here, and a guy comes and he bales it. He comes, he bales it, takes care of my hay for me and all that stuff. I don't have to worry about it. It's a wash. It's a win-win. He takes care of the shit and he pays the stuff. I don't worry about it. And he says he has someone doing that for him. He says he has a guy coming and baling hay. And Lord knows I've stacked enough hay. I don't know if you have any country boys out there. If you've ever actually stacked hay, you're a man. He says he has a guy doing it.
Doing the hay.
That's Otis.
Oh, that's your son?
No, it's a guy drinks at like midnight.
And Otis.
No, that's the town drunk.
He cut a tree down at like midnight. Remember that one night, Woody? Everybody was on talking to Vaughn, and they cut the guy. You hear the chainsaw going off at midnight. For goodness' sake.
That's right.
And it was so damn dangerous. And he was drunk, and John was laughing real hard. And I'm like, "You mean to tell me the guy's drinking?" And Vaughn was like, "Listen, he's very experienced at doing this. I assure you that." And the guy was tanked, and I was just like, "Dude, cutting the chain." And there's no fucking light down there, dude. There's not any ambient light in the sky down where Vaughn's at. I assure you that, right, Larry? There's not any light pollution. You can't. It's pitch black down there when it's dark, right? This fucking guy had a chainsaw out at midnight cutting trees down that were leaning against Vaughn's gravy dome or something. That's another thing. You got the gravy dome out back. You know, that's all fucked up now too, isn't it? Because he didn't take care of it. Remember, he put all that money into it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Everything for that.
Doesn't he have a big shed with a tractor or something in it?
The tractor was sold. It was a '49 Ford too, wasn't it, Larry?
No, Larry said
$1,000.
Larry sold that.
$200.
Somebody told me he sold the lawnmower too.
Yeah, he sold the lawn. There was a Ford lawnmower, dude, that he could have got like $6,000 for, even if it wasn't running. It was that rare, and he got 300.
Oh no, I'm talking about the new lawnmower.
A new?
You mean he had a newer one that he sold? Holy shit!
She paid $4,800 for it about 3 years ago.
Oh my goodness, that was probably like a real
he
nice.
He sold it for $300.
He could have did all the lawns with it, and now he's fucked, right? Oh my gosh!
Can you do anything with the shed?
Unbelievable.
Can you do anything with the shed? Can the shed be like salvageable? Can you put the shed, make it into apartments,
shit,
make it into a rental room? Could you take the? I'm asking you a question for a reason. Hypothetically, if a guy were to acquire a shed in the middle of the woods, would it be big enough for a guy to section off into rental units, like storage units? So hypothetically,
no.
Could you make 2 units?
It sounds like no, man.
No.
Does it have a concrete floor?
Sounds like nothing does.
Oh fuck! See, it's oh, forget it then. I mean,
and Larry said the driveway is constantly needing stone because it washes away. So I'm going to assume there's a lot of water comes down through there, isn't there, Larry?
Well, he lives in the hills. That's what happened.
My old house, yes.
Yeah, the whole driveway washes away, doesn't it? So
I had to have 12 ton of rock brought in 3 times.
Yeah,
a year. Holy shit! And he don't do it at all. So, oh my goodness.
Well, guys, it's been a great time talking to you, but I've got to be up early in the morning. I've had an absolute blast bullshitting with everybody. I hope I didn't offend anybody, and I'll see you guys around if I get a chance to see you around. Larry, nice talking to you. I'll see you in your streams. Todd, thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I wish you all
later, Wood.
I wish you all a wonderful, happy evening.
Have a good night,
Woody. Yep, later on, Woody. Yeah, there's a lot going on there with those properties that just blow my mind. He's just going to let them go to shit. It sounds like they all bailed, didn't they?
Larry kind of bailed, yeah.
I think did Larry do it by accident or what?
I don't know. There was 2 of them, and they were doing the little.
Yeah, how in the hell was there 2 of them?
I don't know.
Weird.
Oh well, I need to cut it off anyway.
Yeah,
after 11 here, and to keep looking like this, I got to get my beauty sheet sleep. You know, so.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming, Solar.
All right, yeah, I had a hell of a time getting in. It was a setting that was wrong, and
Gotcha.
I finally found it.
All
Okay,
right.
man, cool.
Yep.
All
Have a great night.
later.
Talk to you later. Thanks everybody for coming. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.